Well, somebody has to. I mean, John's not here.
Hello, folks. We are starting. We are starting a new game. We are doing Call of Cthulhu, and instead of a Saturday night, we are doing it on a Saturday afternoon. I have to think. What day did they? What are we? What day of the week are we? I have no idea. Um, and as Perfect would have, we're playing Call of Cthulhu. So perhaps I will go insane earlier than thought. We are joined with by our crew, which I am going to let them introduce themselves because actually some people are new to me. Um, but let's start with our game master, Jaden.
Hey, I'm Jaden. They them pronouns. I'm here because I like scaring people. So prepare to be scared.
And then Vixter under RPG Alliance.
Hey, thank you to Jaden for taking on the game runner duties for Queer Questing. Excited about Call of Cthulhu 70. It launches actually our third season of Queer Questing. We're switching from D&D to Call of Cthulhu. Damn Wizards of the Coast, all the hell. And yeah, so we'll be putting this on YouTube afterwards on our RPG Alliance YouTube thing. And hey, game submissions are open for RPG Alliance November 17th, 18th, 19th. It's a hybrid. First 2 days are online. Last days in person here in Calgary, Alberta. Get your games in. We really need them, especially for Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. Thanks.
Yay!
I should be giving you money for a shameless plug. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Actually, what I'll do is I'll set up my.
Good. I'm good with money.
And with that, we will then go to Quill.
I'm sorry, I just took a mouthful then. Okay, just trying to finish off my lunch. Yeah, hi, I'm Quill. Yeah, you'll find as we go through this, I'm kind of probably the most clever of the group. But... and I'm also the most modest. Cool. What more can I say?
Dream on. And Ray.
Howdy, hello. I'm Ray. I will be the least able to play this game of the group, because I'm still new to it.
We're all
so
new.
I'll be the one. Yeah. I'll be the one that panics and goes, "Wait, what do I press?" That's me.
Cool. And Andrea.
Hi, I had the pleasure of participating in our last campaign and just really enjoyed playing with everyone. I have played Call of Cthulhu briefly as a part of the amazing conference that Vixter was promoting there, but just as like a one shot. So I think I've participated maybe once or twice in like a 3-hour session. So actually creating a character and doing it in a longer form will be quite an interesting experience. I also will probably have a lot of what button, what do we do? But I will endeavor to minimize that where possible.
All right. And with that, let the games begin.
Excellent. Well, first, I kind of want to, since I took the time to build some macros in, I wanted to show you over to the pancake bar so you can have them on screen.
Pancake bar. You're gonna have to get
right next.
It's the one left of the gear icon, my settings icon.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Looked like a bulleted list.
Yep.
Yes.
I see it. Yep.
Yes.
Oh,
so
cool.
if you look at the top of the macro, there are a choice of 4 different things. For the most part, I only have Bout of Madness and the D3 lit for mine, and I figure we can have the Mania and Phobia if you end up acquiring one later.
We can tell where you're focusing now.
Yep. If you guys could just check those off, you'll see the little box with click and check off in bar. And then it will appear underneath your name at the bottom of the screen. And it will be a button you can use anytime. Yeah. Be quick and easy.
Cool.
Excellent. So next, I wanted to, even though this is being recorded in multiple ways, I won't always have the time and energy to listen to the whole recording. So I am hoping to draft note takers. It could be the same person all the time, or it could be some, y'all just switch off. I'm not all that picky. However, I do bribe for it, so anybody who does take notes will get a free skill improvement of their choice. Want to be studying medicine on the side? Take some notes.
I would be very happy to help take notes. Probably just as we're setting up characters and stuff. But once we get into the story, I'll be better able to help with that.
Well, for right now, the only thing I really need is somebody to for today to take notes on any lines and veils, which we'll be getting to in just a second,
Okay.
and any major backstory pieces for each of the characters. That's pretty much what I'm looking for today.
And where would you like them? In the shared player journal or in a separate document?
I should double check and make sure I gave you a blank player journal. I didn't actually give you one, did I? Let me fix that right now. Handout. And I can spell, I swear.
That's more than I can do.
And you should probably, it would help if you could see it, wouldn't it?
I just want to say I'm very, very excited about playing this game. I've played Call of Cthulhu in a couple of different formats, and I've played with is it Jaden or Jaden?
Jaden.
No, Jaden.
Like,
yeah.
Like the rock plus an N.
Oh, okay, yes. Jaden. It's been fabulous. They are a fabulous game master. I'm gonna have so much fun.
Okay. Andrea, can you see the player journal now? Hell, everybody, can you all see the player journal?
Yes.
Yes.
We sure can.
Yay.
We can see the X card too.
Yes. Speaking of which, let's get into lines and veils. I'm looking for a general idea of what not to include in this game. So please feel free to jump in, and or I can break out one of the lines and veils sheets that I've got lying around.
Violence against children. Graphic rape, sexual violence.
And animals.
Yes, but what about child zombies? Because we've had those before.
Oh, yeah.
We've played in the game with those before. Or do they not count because they're already dead?
Well, they're zombies, right?
Yeah. Zombies are okay.
I can go either way on that one, but don't worry. In this particular storyline, well, you'll see. Anybody else have any particular things that I should be avoiding?
No, I think for me it's just what was mentioned, detailed description of sexual violence. That's about it. And I'd say probably because we have the X card, if something gets a little too intense, at least people do have that option for the other ones, because we know that this is a horror game, so there is definitely, some violence and scary stuff. But that's the only thing that comes to my mind for myself.
Cool. Anybody else want to chime in? I'm also open to anybody who has any personal specific triggers that you want me to steer clear of.
Sea Hag hates spiders.
No, but you could play with that. I play with spiders all the time.
How much of a spider issue are we talking here?
No, it's fabulous. It's fabulous.
No.
Hold back on that one.
I'm
Trust me.
Vicky,
It's
I'm actually
exposure
fairly serious on this
therapy.
because there are spiders involved in this game.
No, and I'm serious though. I will say, fuck, I hate spiders, but then I'll play. That's fine because actually I play one where in one of my and it'd be great to add that as part of my character's phobia. I could
Okay.
play that. I could play really into that. No, I have no problem. I actually have a ceramic spider tarantula that Quill gave me for Christmas.
With love.
With love.
It's ceramic, but they're not very huggable. Wouldn't a plushie have worked better?
No.
I wasn't aiming for huggable.
Oh, I see.
No, I'm serious though. I am totally serious. Play that up, babe, as much as you want.
Alrighty. I will also go through a quickie rundown of stuff that's known to appear in this game. So there's going to be stuff around bodily autonomy and eugenics. Let's see. Assault, but not sexual. Organized crime. Lots and lots of organized crime.
Yay!
Of which you can participate or not as the moment strikes you. There will be cults. In fact, the sub-theme of this game is the good, the bad, and the ugly in terms of cults.
Good cults.
So wait, is Tom Cruise in this game?
No, there is no Scientology in this game.
Oh, okay. Too bad. I wouldn't mind him taking a couple of those out. All right.
Well, in what sense? Because like consensual sex is totally welcome in this game.
No, I don't mean out like that.
No,
I mean like taking them out.
I
Like-
just wanted to be sure there.
Punch,
No,
Maybe
it's
stop.
good to have those communications.
Yeah, haven't even started there, Victor.
Oh no, right? We could take out what's his name Hubbard before he even starts Scientology. It's like the 1920s. Holy smokes! We could take out Hitler. We could have a whole. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry.
Don't go there.
Sorry.
Honey. Stop.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Speaking of which, yeah, sort of the grandfather of fascism will be making an appearance in this game.
Ooh!
Grandfather? That also
Wow.
sounds really quite interesting.
I did a shit ton of research for this. This is all
Wow.
based in actual real things, even though I kind of compressed all the timelines to make them all fit into the game.
Sure. It's called creative storytelling.
Exactly. And
That's
then
my
the other
memory.
major thing that people might find objectionable, the Ku Klux Klan is also going to make an appearance depending on what choices you all make.
Okay.
Right on. We'll
If
get the
that's a
kill for
problem-
racist too. I love it.
If that's a problem for folks, you're welcome to let me know now. I will also give an additional trigger warning before it happens. And same deal with the listening, viewing audience. I'll give enough of a warning that we can that you can mute it while it's going on, and then come back in later if that strikes your fancy or limits.
I don't know much about the Ku Klux Klan, so that's gonna have to be as we go through.
They were pretty much organized to abuse Black people in the U.S. Immediately after the Civil War.
Right. I know they weren't very. I know there was a lot of terrible things they did, but I had the
yeah.
impression too, because were they not?
They were a
Am I
political
correct
party.
in this? Yeah, but were they also not controlling of basically what women did or lesbian and gay folks and all sorts of things? Understandably, the focus being on African Americans, but were they not all round just terrible people?
Well, they're
they were.
definitely misogynists. They have a very clear idea of what a woman's position is.
Yeah. And they were also, I think earlier they were anti-Semitic and anti-Catholicism.
Oh yeah, big time.
Exactly. Yes.
Big time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anti-immigration, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and well, as far as I can tell in the US, I haven't been paying as close attention. It seems like the people that would be clan members in this day and age are more like 3%ers, Proud Boys, and
Yeah.
other militia members at this point in time.
Yeah.
Friends
But
of
then
Trump.
again, there is a diversity of right-wing batshittery available to anybody who so chooses.
All right, let's beat those guys up too.
Let us take them all on.
Let's get violent. But mind you,
Well,
yeah,
don't.
never mind.
Well, since there are 5 of you, it comes to mind that I should probably add a couple, just in, because I don't want to make it too easy for y'all.
Oh God,
We're all going to die.
we are.
That's
We're gonna
okay.
die.
Which,
I'm looking
Which-
forward to dying.
You're gonna go
As long
nuts
as I
first,
have a
though.
good death.
which leads me to the next thing that you should know. This is a high mortality game, so for as much as you might get attached to your characters, don't get too attached because they're cannon fodder.
Sorry, I love that.
Should we be making a
Um,
backup character then at the same time, just so that we have
you
something
can
going?
if you want. I was going to assign it as homework for folks after I take everybody through the character creation. Did everybody get a chance to download the book?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I briefly looked at it. I apologize. I meant to do more, but
Oh, yeah.
Real
I
life.
didn't mean for you to read it. I meant for you to just have it as a reference guide.
damn it.
If it helps, I haven't actually read it either, and I've
Thank
been
God.
running this game for over 2 years now.
I love it.
Cthulhu,
So,
their
I'm
books
a
are
little bit-
big.
Yes, their books are big, and I will tell you now that I am a little bit on the faster and looser side when it comes to the rules.
I like that.
So,
I can relate to that.
the other major thing I want from everybody is good backstories that I can integrate into the plot.
I've been thinking about that.
For example, one of my the first time I ran this, I only had 2 players. One of them ended up being the getaway driver for Ann Cooper Hewitt when she escaped her family. The other one was looking for his father, who ended up being killed by one of the cults in the game. Although he never went as far as actually finding the body.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
But yes. Anyway,
I love
has anyone had any thoughts on what kind of character they would like to play?
Just one quick question. For the
Absolutely.
player journal, those are each individualized?
Um,
Like, if I write in my journal, or is it a shared journal that everybody has access to?
everybody has access to it.
Okay. Then I will not label it Andrea.
You could if you really want, but it's fine so long as
I'm
everybody
not
can go
that
and read it.
territorial. Yeah, I think that. Okay, never mind.
Oh, no, I think it'd be deeply amusing if you were, but mostly for the point and laugh part of that. But anyway. Yes, this is meant to be a shared journal, and right. So everybody, I made 6 random PC entries that you should all be able to see. So pick one and make it yours.
I
And if
already
anybody
have. I
needs
spent
help
the
with
morning
that,
making my
yes.
characters. I would be ready.
You are indeed ready, which is why I'm probably going to draft you to help me with everybody else.
So
And
we? Sorry. Go
and
ahead.
just to help people, and Jaden and I have talked about this before. We love this guy named Seth Sorkowski on YouTube. He's got a great video on how to make characters, and I know we're going through it today, but I'll pop it in our Discord chat. So if you guys want to make a second character, he'll walk you right through it. So I'll pop it in the Discord chat for you.
Okay. That
And
sounds
he
fabulous.
just won an ENnie award this year for best podcast, and he's got a great tutorial playlist on Call of Cthulhu. It teaches you combat, teaches you everything. He's fantastic. Is that okay, Jaden? I hope you don't mind.
Oh, yeah, no, I was going to drop the link in the notes, but since you're beating me to it, great. Take it away.
Here, I'll drop it in the player handbook thing. Yeah.
So I can just like pick up like PC6 and I'll just name it.
Yes, please
Okay.
do.
And do we use the character mancer
No,
or edit the sheet directly?
Character
please
Master
edit the
fucked
sheet
on this.
directly.
Okay.
I haven't really convinced it to work right, so if you want to futz with it, by all means,
No,
but
that's okay. I'll edit the sheet
Futz
directly.
with it.
Fabulous.
Futz with it. I
Okay.
want to start using that word. I like that word. Futz.
All right.
excellent. So let's see, who's playing Reed?
Ooh, hello.
Ray. Okay,
Yeah.
Ray is Reed.
Yeah. Thought I'd make it, similar.
Alrighty. Well, so I guess first, most of you are in progress of picking names, so please definitely do that. Also, age, gender, or lack thereof, please pick that. If it's relevant to your backstory, birthplace, but definitely residence now, though I was planning on having all of you start in Boston.
Can I just jump in and say what I got?
Absolutely.
All right, so I started, I followed what Seth Okowski said to do. I started by picking my occupation, because then that will decide, if you look into the I button on your right-hand side, that's your companion button, and you go there, you'll see, if you put in occupations, yeah, you can open them up and you'll see the whole list of occupations.
My I button?
Yeah, the little round circle with an I in the middle on top right-hand corner. See that dot with an I? On the top right-hand.
Yeah, that's
Sorry.
one.
I was looking at the wrong spot.
Yeah, so if you open that up, you should see a list of occupations. Sample occupations. Does it come up for everyone? And then that's kind of the list. It's also in the investigator's book that Jaden gave you. So for me, I went through, and I'm sick of being poor, so I'm going to be a dilettante. So I'm going to be rich. God damn it.
You go for it.
And then I went to okay, if I'm going to be rich, who am I going to be? I've ripped off, if this is okay with Jaden, I've ripped off a real life historical figure called Joe Carstairs. And then so I just, changed my character sheet. I made sure it was in edit mode. Put in my dilettante occupation. And then I just typed in the age. I put non-binary. London. This is a real person that, lived at this time. And they were a butch person. So a rich butch heiress. So, and who went out with Marlena Dietrich later in the future, just so you guys know. That's my story concept. That's my character concept. And just to tie it into this, I think maybe because Anne Cooper Hewitt was a rich heiress type too, maybe they knew each other through socialite circles of New York City or someplace. Maybe Jaden, and they would have crossed paths that way, or no?
I am willing to have you roll on that.
Okay. All right.
I'll just take a luck on that one.
All right. Off edit mode.
Yep. Yes, you do. You've indeed
go.
met Anne Cooper Hewitt. You've also met Marion Cooper Hewitt.
Oh, her evil mother?
And you know that she's kind of a piece of work. Oh. Yes.
Well, I suspect that her mother was like my mother, a drunk and a drug addict. Rich girls that shouldn't have been mothers in the first place. That's kind of how I did it. And then when you get into when you pick your occupation, it tells you special things that occupation will give you, as far as skills and stuff like that. So anyway, that's my character. big, rich butch. I've got tattoos on my arms. I will own an island in the Bahamas soon, but not quite yet because I'm only 22, and I am going to date a lot of actresses and singers and vaudeville stars. Yeah, I'm rich, bitch. Rich butch.
Um,
Rich butch.
right.
If that's okay.
Yeah. I'm sure in that case, I don't need to tell you which flower to look for on everybody's lapels.
I didn't get that
Um,
at all. You're gonna have to explain that to me.
I am? Okay. Well,
I didn't get that
back
at
in the day.
all. A flower on a
Code.
lapel? Oh my god.
Code. It was code.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Is
it
that
was
like
code.
a yellow hanky in my front pocket? Because I don't want to pee on you.
No, it's not that kind of code.
No yellow hankies. Put the hankies away.
Shocking.
Hankies are for gay dudes.
Well, technically, my person is very hyper masculine. But anyway, no. Go
Oh,
ahead. Tell me
yes.
what am I missing? Am I 55 years old and I've been not doing the lesbian code on the flower and the lapel?
Oh,
Is
I
this
think
why
it's,
I'm single and I
This
have
is
no love in my life?
it's historic.
chill. This is historic. Back in the day, gay men were known as horticulture boys. So a lot of different flowers were associated with them, but in particular, violets were associated with lesbian women. So
Really?
here,
How
have
the
some
hell have I
violets.
lived my life? I am a failed lesbian. God
That's why
This
damn.
the
is from the
India girls are called that.
1920s. It's currently the 2020s. I don't think that that code is still in effect.
God damn it.
That's okay. You had other codes. Friends of Dorothy was the big one.
If I only had known, I would have got into gardening. Oh well.
Oh my golly gosh. There you go. Gonna get you some violets.
Yeah.
You
Um,
see yourself as a violet person there, though, Vixter?
Maybe. I like that color. Violet
anyway,
Vixter.
has everybody chosen an occupation?
Yes. I'm a sorry.
Oh, no,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead.
I'm a medical doctor
Excellent.
with ties or family ties somewhere in the back with the Boston, not the Chicago mob.
Oh, baby.
Ooh.
And in fact, I did a little bit of work for them.
Are you doing illegal
Oh.
abortions?
And I could, yeah. I'm in
Right on.
Boston to try to get away from it all.
As in vacation, or you're just done with the organized crime lifestyle?
I'm done. I'm trying to leave my past behind.
You're like in that scene in The Godfather with Al Pacino when he's trying to go legit. When I just try to get out and be legit, they drag me back in. I can so see it.
I was gonna say
I'm
something to that effect too.
I'm sure you can play with that.
Oh, I will.
Anyway, and you, Quill. Oh, sorry.
Yes, that was actually my next stop. Quill, what'd you pick?
So what I was seeing is my little bit of a person backstory, and I'm just trying to see a occupation. Is kind of see myself as the Mabel Crabtree. Kind of grew up on the farm like a lot of folks in this time, but with the movies and like the picture shows, I'm kind of like aspiring to be something more exciting. So I'm kind of looking at like I don't know. Farmer isn't quite it, but I look at explorer and I'm kind of a bit green, so I'm kind of at the beginning of wanting to be an explorer, and I hear about this and maybe a private investigator kind of thing. I want a little bit of excitement in my life, so I'm not exactly certain whether to be like, because I would be a private investigator with newbie skills, but I've got skills from the farm like mechanics and driving and stuff. Any suggestions on that?
Not particularly, because this is a skill-based game, so you pretty much start with all of your skills. You're not going to necessarily get more unless you take time to learn stuff or manage to get a successful roll. And
Yeah. Well, I'm going to have some skills, but those skills aren't necessarily. So maybe when I'm going to start off, maybe I could focus on like being a driver or something.
Ooh, okay. I
Right.
just
We
I'd
could use a
have
getaway
that.
driver.
I don't want to.
Yeah,
I don't
just-
want to be a hoarder or anything, but just so you know, like I've already. Not to say that you can't do it, but my lady Joe is actually a race car driver, speedboat driver, ambulance driver. But definitely do what you want to do. But I'm just throwing it out there just for skills and stuff. I think I've got a pretty
Yeah.
good drive in it. I got a 49 in drive.
Well, what about being a drifter?
Um,
They've got skills as climb, jump, listen, navigate, one interpersonal skill of charm, fast talk, intimidate, or persuade,
Okay.
stealth, and any 2 other skills.
all
I mean,
right.
I don't want to.
No, that's fine because I think what I'm imagining is a bit more of a jack of all trades kind of thing. You know, some things you're good at, but a little bit of here and a little bit of there. So maybe a drifter would fit in, just stuff that I've picked up on the way.
Yeah.
Because again, this is a time when a lot of people were getting off the farm and wanted to do something different.
And before the
There's
Great
a
Depression, and just after the
Pardon?
Great War.
Are we in the
There's
20s or 30s?
It's actually 1920. We're
Okay.
starting
Yeah. Yeah.
summer of
So
1920.
still a
Um,
lot of positive thoughts.
for a more extensive list of occupations, page 68 in the book has even more.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I looked on that, so I'm gonna go for drifter and have slightly different skills to the dilettante, who's just yeah.
Excellent. Uh,
Bit
Right?
more of the
Andrea?
working class, is it?
Right? What occupation are you?
Here. I picked because I read like a tiny bit of the PDF that you sent, so I saw photojournalist was an option.
Oh,
But
excellent.
if not, then I'm happy with journalist. But yeah, photojournalist. was like-
It's in its infancy, and just keep in mind that cameras were kind of dangerous back then.
Oh shit.
Oh, you could actually have some experience with a bit of explosives because you could mix all that chemical.
Sick. Actually, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, we'll roll with that. Yeah.
Hey, if you want to put some points into demolitions, I don't know if you were like, say, a photojournalist during the war. You know, I could very easily see you picking up some demolition experience on the way there. That skill starts at 1%. It's not on the list, so if you're looking at your character sheet, go down to the all the way the bottom of the second column and see where it says additional skill. If you grab additional skill 1, you could put demolition in there, and it starts at 1%, and you can start putting numbers in there.
Any number.
Well, not yet. I mean, we're getting there.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
But here, you get a 1% to start. There we go.
Hey. Nice.
Andrea, what you got? You're muted. Andrea?
Hello.
Oh, we've lost somebody.
No.
Oh no.
I'm sorry. I was printing out the PDF, so I had it on mute, and then I ran out of paper, so I ran downstairs with my. I'm still listening with my headphones.
I see. What
So
occupation did you pick?
I've just had a quick look here. That is a great question. I was wondering about because I wanted to work with like complementary skill sets, but union activist.
Kick ass. Yeah.
Ooh.
Because then you said there's
Oh.
some mob connections happening, and that's kind of a
Jimmy Hoffa's.
no, you know.
Hey, well, you know, the mob has got to help with the body disposal because, like, I mean,
good to
you saw
know.
how well it went for the anarchists back in the late 1800s. It didn't go very well, so you really do need an organized crime connection to help with all those bodies, right?
A made guy.
I mean, look, who's to say? You know, part of some of our membership, you know, they're part of there's cleanup crews. I mean, we've all sorts of forms of labor under our umbrella here. So
That's how they got into the garbage disposal system.
exactly.
And exactly why when I wanted to find out exactly what happened to recycling when I was doing my undergrad, my professor told me that I wasn't allowed to like follow the garbage trucks and hang out at the dump because it was fucking dangerous.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was
Whoa.
told not to do that.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
It's the dirty underbelly of the city. In more ways than one.
Exactly. Anyway, okay, now that we've all got occupations, everybody who doesn't already have them, let's roll some stats.
Okay. How do
So
we
the first stat is strength, and that's 3d6 and multiply by 5. If you get, and I'm using a house rule that says if you get a 1 for any of your d6, you re-roll that one.
So 3d6.
Yes, all ones get re-rolled and then multiplied by 5.
Okay, there we are.
Where is my? There we go.
So it's up on the left.
Yeah. So
Okay.
1d6.
No, 3d6.
3d6.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Okay, so there, yeah, you get to re-roll that 1 there.
Okay. So we've got.
Just as an aside, you guys, Prohibition started in 1920 and ran to 1933 in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Just context if you're going to be an alcoholic. You're gonna have to know someone that Andrea knows to get you some.
And then it's times 5 after that?
Yes.
Okay. That's 17. Oh, that's okay.
Yes, and for those of you that are curious, if you go to page 46 in the book, it'll give you a ballpark of what the different stat numbers actually mean in terms of like real world values. I believe something like yours is relatively is above average, but not by staggering amount.
That's cool. That is
I
cool.
wasn't given that in the beginning, and like I didn't quite realize that my appearance of like 80 for my first character was quite smoking. I had no idea until it came up in game. Of course, the GM thought it was amusing for all of the NPCs to hit on me, but one digresses. But I think that was the GM just wanting to hit on me. But one digresses again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 50 is pretty much average human for most of those attributes, and then anything above it is nice.
Excellent. Now that everybody's got strength, let's go to Constitution. That's another 3d6. And again, please re-roll ones. So Andrea and Ray, you can both re-roll those 1 1s. Quill, you too.
No, just 1.
Oh.
So, and then you times it by 5 again.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
And which one is
And
it?
while everybody is looking at your character sheets, see in the top bar where it says regular, hard, extreme, and verbose. Please, everybody check verbose.
Sorry, where was that? Verbose. Oh, there it is.
Very
There it
top.
is. Okay. And so this was Constitution, correct?
That was Constitution, yes.
Okay, cool. I think I'm squishy. Oh, I see. Yes.
Okay. Everybody ready for the next number? I see Andrea
Mhm.
typing. So,
Oh yeah, go ahead.
okay, fantastic. Next stat is size. This is 2d6 plus 6.
Still small.
I think you missed. There we go. That's better.
So it's just so if I come up with 16, that's the number.
No. This is all. Everything is. All of these will be multiplied by 5.
By 5. Okay, sorry about that.
I'm sorry. I thought it was the number plus 6.
And then you
It's
times
those
it by
two
5.
numbers plus 6, then
Oh.
multiply the whole thing by 5.
Bubble. Well, I'm big.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
You know, hey, why not? It's because that's why I'm so strong.
Hey, if it works, it works.
Yeah.
All right, next one is dexterity. This is another 3d6.
Again? Oh no.
Ray, since you keep rolling ones, just keep on
Yeah.
rolling until it's not a 1.
Okay.
In a real game,
Hey!
might say
There we go.
burn those dice. God, there's somebody else who will roll. No, actually, rolling low is good in this game. I keep forgetting about that.
Yes, rolling low is good in this one.
Except for the stats version.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I'm going to be as mean as Vicky in terms of like if you get a critical failure, like making everybody come up with horrible things that happen to you. But who knows? Maybe I'll do that anyway.
True enough. Whatever strikes your fancy.
It was fun. What are you talking about? It was super fun. I can't help it. You can't dance.
Yeah. No. Not just that I can't dance, that I was stuck in a cage and made to dance when I
You
found
made
out.
a shitload of credits that night. What are you
Yeah.
complaining
Yeah, I
about?
did, but I
And
was
you
still
got a
stuck in a
gig.
fucking cage.
There were
Yeah,
some good days. Good days.
you got a gig as a go-go dancer. Come on.
Life has
Right.
not been the same since. Just admit it.
Never is. Yeah, that was pretty much the height of it all. Everything's downhill since the cage dance.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's
I thought the
sad if that was the
break-in
height.
and well, I thought the whole thing when was it Dr. J who was completely covered in baby shit?
Yeah,
Oh,
for a
yeah.
long time too. That
Yeah.
was hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm,
And
We strapped them onto the top of the roof of the car.
that was
yeah, it
hilarious.
was my car and there was no way in hell anybody covered in baby shit was coming in.
That was so much fun.
And just to clarify, Dr. J was me.
Yes. Anyway,
Okay.
You always
We
get covered with shit in
digress.
every game we play somehow, see, Hank.
Yes, but you know,
Yeah.
I think I got covered in something too. Maybe, but yeah. Seahag's good
Well,
at doing that.
Well, that's the thing. Seahawk's playing a doctor in this, so it's
Oh,
not going to be
yeah.
very hard for me to get you covered in shit in this one. So
True.
let the good times roll.
Lots of blood and puke can happen in this game.
Absolutely. All right, let's roll appearance. This is another 3d6.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Ray, re-roll both those ones, please.
One. Hey. we timesing by 5 every time?
Yes, every time.
Okay. My numbers look very similar to each other somehow.
You've been rolling relatively similarly, so
Yeah. They're all like
okay.
70 or something. Something's weird.
no. It means that you're decently above average, and that's
Okay.
pretty decent.
You are amazing.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
You're at the peak.
Alrighty, let's get on to intelligence. This is 2d6 plus 6.
6. Oh, okay. Let's do this. 10.
All right,
Excellent.
who's
It's
the beauty and
appropriate that
who's the
doctor's
dog?
extra smart.
Who's the beauty? Who's the dog?
I don't know.
Well, with me insisting on ones be rerolled, most of you are going to definitely be at least average, if not above.
No,
Oh, right
I
on.
forgot that. Hang on. I missed that. Let me do that again.
I need a
9.
wingman for the bar then, or wing woman for the bar. Well,
And this one was intelligence?
There we
This
go.
one is intelligence, yeah.
Yep.
2d6 plus 6, and as always, multiply everything by 5.
Okay. 2d6 plus. Okay.
Oh, I've got to do math on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah,
I'm right there with
so
you. I'm
sorry.
struggling.
Don't worry,
Okay.
everybody. There's only 3
Is
more
it-
stats left, and then we can get to the more fun stuff.
don't forget, there's a calculator on your computer and there's a calculator on your phone.
Exactly.
Isn't it just your dice number
And you should
plus
totally
6?
use it. I know I am.
Sorry. I know.
Yeah, me too.
Sorry, say that again, Quill.
Well, you're taking 4 or 6 plus 6 and then multiplied by 5? Is that what you're struggling with?
No. You mean me? I'm just struggling, period.
I
Are
know
we
maths isn't
judging?
your best.
Let's
We're
judge.
judging.
That is our whole relationship. Well, I don't know where we'd be if we couldn't judge.
At least I know where I stand with you.
At the bottom
Silly
of the
me,
stairs.
I was just going to offer you some caffeine. Virtual, of course, because, I'm not flying up to Edmonton just to hand you something with caffeine in it.
Well, if
Oh,
you did,
because
you'd be missing it
you-
completely.
I know. You still have to drive.
Wrong city.
Oh, I would have missed.
Yeah, you
Even so,
would've-
isn't
You
Wood
would.
Canada
If-
still on fire?
Oh, well, actually, we haven't been on fire. We missed it a bit, but you could pour that coffee out the window and hope for the best for the fires that are still there of your airplane.
I'll be sure to open the window on the plane just to, risk
Yeah.
decompression just
Let
to
some air
pour
in.
coffee
Yeah.
out. Yeah, exactly.
We'd appreciate it.
Anyway,
Okay.
now for a very important stats power 3d6.
3d6.
Power.
So what does power do?
It means that I'm less likely to control you when there's magic thrown at you.
Oh, damn it.
And as always, re-roll the ones.
When you're saying re-roll the ones, you mean actually the dice or the die that have 1? Or
Yes,
your
the
total
die that
result?
has the 1.
Yeah.
Not the whole
Oh.
total, just
I've
that
been
one
missing
die.
that. I missed that.
'70's pretty decent. Andrea, you're gonna have a bit of a hard time. This'll be fun.
Uh-oh.
Andrea,
Yeah,
what?
well,
Which?
I got 40.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Doesn't bode well
that's
by the
okay.
sounds.
That's okay. On Andrea, I'm 50, so
Well, I was getting really excited that I had higher rolls for everything else, and then it was said, "Oh no, but it's better if you have lower," because then, and I was like, "Okay, well maybe," and then power was lower, and I was like, "Hooray!" But now I hear no,
No,
not
For
so much.
stats, For stats, you want them high. In fact, for all of the skills, you want high numbers because this is a roll under system.
Okay, I see. I can understand now why I'm in trouble for power. Okay.
Excellent. Yes.
My size is 70, my power is 40. I think I need to get to the gym.
It's actually more like I guess
Mental
psychological
power?
Yeah, mental
Willpower,
powers.
I think. Okay.
It's also what your magic skill is going to, or magic points will be based on. Not that
Okay.
any of you are actually getting any magic to start with, but you know, who knows? Maybe you'll want to devote some time in game to that. Of course, magic comes at a pretty steep price in this system, so you know, maybe not.
Usually insanity.
Yes, insanity is magic is pretty damn rough on sanity in this one. All right. Next skill is education, 2d6 plus 6.
6. Ooh.
Oh my god.
That was nasty. Let's try
Yeah.
that again.
Yeah, you just re-roll the whole thing.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm nuts before you even started.
Oh, well, no. Your sanity is actually also based on your power.
Okay, so I have 3 and 3, so 6. Plus 6,
Plus
so 12.
6.
12 times 5.
Yep. That would be 60 for you. All right. Final thing is luck, which is 3d6.
Oh god, this is where you really want to roll high.
Roll high.
Yes.
Roll
Yes,
high.
you
3d6,
do.
right?
Yep, 3d6.
Come on, baby.
It's not like
2 averages.
luck is really valuable in this one.
That's not good. Oh, you get to re-roll one more, Quill.
Yes. Reroll that 1.
Oh.
It's better. Cool. And this is where I'll note for those of you who haven't played Call of Cthulhu before, if you miss a roll, you can spend luck points 1 for 1 to improve your roll. So say you miss a success by 5 points, you can deduct 5 luck to make that roll a success if you want. So luck is important. And I also want you to note somewhere on your character sheet what your original luck is, because I've had issues in previous games. Because you will get your luck points back when I call for a skill improvement. But if you don't know if you've burnt any luck or not, I won't necessarily be able to tell from just looking at your sheet. So please note your original luck score.
Where should we do that?
You're welcome to take your pick of any free space on your sheet. You can do it on the bio and info tab if you care to. If you want to like put it next to your occupation because there's extra space in that bar, go ahead.
Oh, that's a good point, actually. Let's put 50 for luck.
So yeah. So if your luck ends up being lower than that original, then it means that you'll get to improve it later.
Nice.
Okay. Cool.
Alrighty, now everybody, it's time to go to the book and look up your occupation, unless it happens to be in the compendium section, but they have a very, very basic list there, so
Okay.
you may not be listed.
All right, so... And what page was that on? Sorry, I forgot.
The occupations start on page 68, and it's alphabetical, so keep on flipping until you're in the right place.
Okay.
and it'll tell you what to do in terms of making further stats. So let's go to occupational skills. So everybody should go to your appropriate section, and it'll tell you how to calculate that. So, for example, the drifter occupational skill points is education times 2, and then either dex or strength times 2, whichever is higher.
So whatever's higher between. Oh,
Dex
plus.
or strength.
Okay, dex or strength. I get it. All right.
So occupational. So okay. Let me just. Sorry, I just want to figure this one out. So under Doctor of Medicine, occupational skill points is education times 4.
Yep.
So my education is 60. That means times 4 is 240.
Yes, and these occupational skill points, that's actually pretty average, actually.
Okay.
These skill points need to be broken up between 9 different skills, including credit rating. Credit rating is pretty important. You can go to the bottommost of your profession if you want to spend the least on that. I will warn you that if you, particularly for the drifter, you can go pretty low on your credit rating if you care to. I'd recommend against that because I will nickel and dime you, and it will not be fun for any of us.
Ooh.
Okay, so it says here. So in the book it says occupational skill points. So I've got my 240. It then says credit rating 30 to 80. So that means is what I need. I can put in a minimum of 30 or a
Yes.
maximum of 80.
Yes, that is
Okay.
correct.
Okay.
And you're
then-
welcome. Actually, I'll need to look up the credit rating thing, the credit rating chart, because it
Okay.
will give you. These character sheet will calculate your spending and all of that, but you might want to get a better idea of it before you end up choosing, because the lower the credit rating, the less buying power you'll have. But it has different meanings, and it'd be really nice if this told me where the chart that I'm looking for is. Here we go. The chart is on, what page are you? Page, is that 50 or 51? That's 51. It's on page 51. So,
Okay.
0 is completely penniless. Don't do that. 1 to 9, I will nickel and dime you. But alas for the drifter. I will allow the drifter in particular to put more into that if you want to bring yourself up to average, which is 10 to 49.
Okay.
Wealthy, as you can look at Vicky's character, anybody between 50 and 89 is wealthy. 90 and above is rich.
So
that came from my my occupation. Plus, I put 29 of my skill points into it. So I'm rich. I'm not eating tuna fish out of a can. This game, hell no. I ain't giving people blowjobs in the bathroom either. I don't have to.
So again, just trying to. I've never done this before. So if I put, so I've got 240, and I can put my skills as first aid, medicine, other language, Latin, psychology, science, and any 2 other skills as academic or personal specialties. So it's already populated some numbers. So technically, for example, medicine, it's got 1, natural world, it's got 10. But say if I wanted to put more into natural world, I would put it in addition to the 10, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
The numbers that are pre-populated, that's the base skill. That's what
Okay.
just you uneducated or just a random person, how much they know about any particular thing.
Okay. And what?
However, as a
Yeah.
medical doctor, you know more about certain things, such as medicine, which means
Yeah.
that 1% for medicine goes up to however many points you care to put into medicine.
So what's the difference between medicine and first aid?
Timing. First aid is literally the first thing that you do for somebody when they're injured.
Right.
So think emergency stuff, like
Yeah.
literally what you learn in any average first aid course, like put pressure on the wound, elevate it, etc. Whereas medicine is, in terms of game mechanics, it's used later for any particular injury. You can use first aid once and medicine once. And after that, it's an older injury, and you'll just have to heal the old fashioned way, which is 1 point a day, provided you don't do anything strenuous.
Okay.
However, if you get a new and exciting wound on top of your old wounds, hopefully whoever is rolling for first aid or medicine will get better rolls for you. But
And there's
in
a chance
terms,
I'll ask about something, but I won't interrupt now. Keep going. I'm just putting my
and
virtual hand up.
cool. Medicine also does useful things like surgery and setting bones and all of that, but game mechanic wise, we don't really talk about it as such.
Right. So could medicine be used to do things like examine dead bodies to figure out what happened to them?
You could. It's probably going to be harder than if you choose an extra science of, say, pathology.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. Okay.
So what was the question?
Hmm. So just to make sure I'm on the right spot here. So I've looked under union activist,
Mm-hmm.
occupation skill points. So it's EDU times 4. So I take my education and I times it by 4, and that's the number of skill points that I have that I can add to any of the ones that I already have. So like it says accounting, it just gave me a default of 5 for having that skill. If I wanted to increase that skill, I could use some of that total that was created by multiplying my education by 4. And I have
Yes,
to assign a certain amount for credit rating between 5 to 30, because that's the range I was given, and that would be deducted from that same pool of points.
exactly.
And
And go ahead.
oh, Mm. So I can only have the skills that it's given me. I can't like take a new one for now. That would be something that would happen like later in game or something like that.
Actually, that's going to happen later in the character development process. Right
Oh,
now, these
okay.
are just occupational points. So the points that you have in whatever pool, be it education times 4 or education times 2 plus whatever times 2,
Okay.
depending on your occupation, those points very specifically go into those 9 skills, credit rating plus the other 8 listed below that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Personal interest points will be what we're getting to next.
And can I just throw out that if you do look at Seth's thing, he has kind of a interesting way of doing occupational skills. He just takes your total and he divides it amongst 8 skills plus your credit rating. So you take your total skills, you divide it by 8 or 9. Like for my case, it was 29, and then I just put those in the skills of my occupational skill listed, right? Boom, boom. And it was
Okay.
as
Yeah.
easy
Just
as that.
divided it among those.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
that's the quick and dirty method.
yeah.
If you can also just be more pointed about it and specifically choose to put more points into whatever one skill versus another.
Yeah.
Um, so either any method that you care to choose, just use however many points of your occupational skills in the 9 skills at hand, which includes the credit rating.
Just makes it easier to do the math, kind of.
Oh, absolutely. I also find that kind of makes things a little bit too low because depending on my character, like they tend to have high lock picking, because for some reason that tends to be the characters I like to play. So I usually sink significantly more points into lock picking, well, locksmithing, but deeds.
You're a rogue.
I like rogues.
Yeah, well, whatever you care to call it in whatever system I'm playing a trickster in Ryujinma, but one digresses. And there aren't any rogues in Call of Cthulhu. I am merely a cat burglar. Which means that, if I were anywhere near you, Debbie would be in danger because I would steal Debbie.
Oh man, Debbie made a lot of friends last night. It was exhausting. Ugh. And the problem is when people come up and go, "Hey, Debbie," and I'm like, "Who the fuck are you? How do you know my cat? What has my cat been doing when I've been at work? What the fuck?"
They know your cat. Is your cat not in your home? Is your cat prowling around?
No, she's not allowed to prowl. This is what I'm wondering.
Got a secret life.
Debbie has a secret life that I don't know of. So,
Adventures
anyway,
of Debbie.
I know.
Sorry, I'm still working on my skills. So just
Yes.
I just need probably another 5 minutes. I'm trying to figure out where I'm gonna put stuff in.
No
Don't
problem.
worry, I haven't done mine yet.
See,
It's kind of hard because you're thinking, medicine, first aid, then language Latin. Where do we put the languages at?
Third column. And no, they did not consult me when they reorganized the character sheets.
Oh, okay.
So it starts
and you
with
can put it.
languages own. And if you're in edit mode, you can hit the plus button and it'll gives you an extra space and you can write Latin into there.
Okay.
And I believe the base skill for any language is a 5, but I'd have to double check that on my basic character sheet.
So that means we would have to put it in. So even for English or your main language, you'd still have to put points in for.
For your own language, whatever your education number is, that's what your skill level is with your own language. So if your education happens to be a 55, your English is 55.
Right. Okay.
Assuming you're all playing Americans or English speakers. If you're not, whatever language is spoken in whatever region you choose to be from is your own language. And is anybody playing somebody who isn't a native English speaker?
I am. Yes.
Where are you from?
Yeah. Jordan. I've gone for Arab. Yeah.
Oh, spiffy. Cool.
Nice.
So Arabic would be your own language. And you have Arabic listed twice. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then you burnt 50 points
You
for English.
decide how much
Yes.
points you want.
Yeah. Cool.
So you.
I get that, but
Yeah.
I don't know what they equal. So, like, if they need 10 points, is that good, bad, or different?
That's bad because you want higher so that when you roll, you're more likely to be successful.
So, I don't know whether is it just me. You have nothing to reference to see whether 50 is better than 60. I know it is, but what that actually means.
Maybe ask that question.
Okay.
All right.
What's the question?
I have a question. I keep asking Seahag. That's what happens when they're next to you. Okay, so when I'm looking at this, so say for example, if I was going to do fast talk, is there anywhere to reference, what a 50 in fast talk means, what a 60 in fast talk means, or I'm just going on, well, 60 is higher than 50, so it must be better.
Pretty much that would be higher is better.
But there's nothing to kind of reference to kind of figure out. Is it worth adding a little bit more? Is it not worth adding a little bit more?
Depending on how much you're planning on leaning on that skill, more is better. I will tell you that 50 is pretty much the professional threshold. So if you've got a 50 or higher in a skill, you can make a living at doing that.
Okay. That helps.
Well, and I have the choice of 2 interpersonal skills.
Mm-hmm.
So I have Charm, fast talk, intimidate, or persuade. I figured I'd use intimidate, but I don't know. I was gonna pick fast talk, but I want to see if we have a variety of other skills. Is there one of those that someone hasn't taken or doesn't have yet?
Well, I was looking at either persuade or fast talk because I'm in the same thing, and I was kind of leaning to fast talk. So
Okay, then I'll take persuade.
okay, so that sounds good.
I will tell you now that I insist for all of those personal skills that if you end up role playing something out that seems more like a persuade, I'm going to make you roll persuade. So if you end up role playing something that's really intimidating and you've got a really shitty score in intimidate, I'm still going to make you roll on it.
Yeah, so if you guys are gonna lie, make sure you're lying because you'll have to roll fast talk, right? If you're trying to sweet talk,
Exactly.
you'll have to be charm. Trying to persuade and be logical. Have persuade.
Yeah,
Gotcha,
but
Or
if
gotcha.
if
you've
you're trying to be mean and overbearing, that would be intimidate.
Yeah, it's whatever you role play.
Yeah.
But if you've only got, if it says your character has one interpersonal skill, does that mean you can only have one interpersonal skill?
No, you can.
Oh, okay.
When it comes to personal interest points later, you can put points into the other ones if you want to. I will say that concentrating your points in one skill and then maybe having a secondary is a good way to go.
Okay.
But for the most part, you want to be at least successful in terms of whatever your primary interpersonal skill is. Though I will tell you for Safer Andrea's union activist, having all of them might not be such a bad idea because it gives you diversity of tactics. And I will tell, I need to take a peek. Does union activist come with fighting skills and
Yeah, brawl.
excellent. Yes, I was going to mention that in this particular time period, in terms of union organizing, they spent approximately half their time at the gun range and half their time talking about how to convince the bosses to pay more. Because, they were kind of open fights in the streets when it came to union demonstrations and strikes.
The part of why I picked it is I figured it would be a fun thing to research for more backstory and context.
Oh, hell yes. In that case, you might want to take a peek at the Battle of Blair Mountain if you're playing an American.
Very good.
Also known as the Second American Civil War, except that nobody counts it as that.
Oh.
Just because I'm trying to put in the I will re-listen to this recording to get everybody's character notes down. But for the context, what year? And you said we're starting in Boston.
We're starting in Boston, 1920.
Okay.
But you don't necessarily have to re-listen to the whole thing because, like, I'm just looking for like basics. And right
Mm-hmm.
now, we haven't really. It's the backstory stuff that I'm more interested in.
Okay.
So don't worry too terribly much about getting other specifics down because it'll all be on your character sheets.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Whereas the backstory, that part is going to take some thought on my part and where I'm going to plug you into the overall plot line. Has everybody got their occupational skills?
No, I'm sorry. I'm still trying to figure it all out. My apologies. I'm like,
I'm
oh,
so
should I
sorry
do
that there's math at hand.
it's all right. And then I'm trying to think, okay, I only have 240 points. I need to figure it out.
That's why sometimes doing it that quick and dirty way, doing like 8 and just like
Yeah.
dividing it and then plugging it into 8 and just boom, boom, boom is good. And you can always grow it as you go along, right? Because we
Yeah.
do skill
Absolutely.
improvements.
So, all right. So I promise to figure this out in the next 5 minutes. Okay.
Because you got to think though, right? If you're taking like 240 points and you're dividing them over 12, that's only 12 points
No,
per
no.
each skill. So bringing it down to 8 makes it like 29, 30 on top of what your base rate is, and that will give you like in the 30s or 40s, which is pretty comfortable place to be for trying to roll that skill.
Yeah, I think the thing about it is some of the stuff. So sorry, I know what I need. I need a calculator, which is I'm gonna do right now. Let's do this. Okay, so I promise I'll be finished in
Yeah, it's
5 minutes.
it's a kind of game that makes sense to like be a specialist in certain skill sets, and that's why doing character creation together is good for us to spread the skills around our characters, so we don't waste any. So we have somebody that can kind of handle each situation, right?
Yeah.
So like I
s-
have drive and mechanical because the person I'm basing my character on is a speedboat driver and a race car driver and stuff like that. So I didn't have
That's
to.
good because
Yeah.
I was going to take mechanical, but then I won't. So that's good to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I have no
Well-
medicine. I have no first aid, even though this person was an ambulance driver in the World War One, and it's just because I ran out of skill points, right? And so I was so
Yeah.
glad to hear that Seahag's going to be a doctor, because then I don't even have to worry about that.
Yeah, I put so I'm 65 in well, not dodge. What the heck was I doing? No, that's not what I want to do. What the happened?
I think dodge
There
is
we go. First
automatically
aid.
opened with a plus
Yes,
modifier.
dodge
That's
is
why.
automatically half of
yeah.
your dexterity. So
Yeah.
you
There we
will be
go.
able to add more points into it later, but to start with, everybody's dodge is half dex,
So I've got
and it pre-populates on the sheet, or at least it should.
first aid, I've got my
And
credit.
then, quick question.
Yeah.
And so when we put our points in, so let's say I wanted to add 20, do I add it on top of what's already there? So let's say electrical repair, I wanted to add 20. Do I just, when I'm taking off my skill points, do I take off 20 to make it 30 because it's already at 10? Or do
Exactly.
I say, okay, that is the way. Okay.
Yes. So the base skill is what everybody just already knows, period.
Yeah. Okay.
So you just add whatever's already pre-populated, you add it to that. And if you want a skill, when we get to the personal interest stuff for things that aren't on the sheets, I'll have the base numbers for you to add in. And also, I was looking at your constitution, and did you forget to multiply by 5? What'd you roll?
For me?
Yeah. It says
Oh,
15.
yeah, I forget. Yeah, I forgot to do it by 5.
Okay, yes, please do that, because
You're squishy.
seriously, yeah, if you end up doing anything resembling drugs in this game, you're gonna want something higher than that 15. And yes, this is a time when cocaine was still readily available, although
Yay!
people were just starting to discourage its use.
Yay!
And also the shiny new drug from Japan. Everybody
Oh, yeah.
knows it. Everybody loves it. Methamphetamines.
Yay!
Woohoo! Gotta love that.
Does that cancel out opium dens? We just find a happy middle.
No, it means actually the way everything works in this is that you can have opium, you could have meth, you can have it all if you really want to spend money on it. Just keep in mind that for the most part, while you're on whatever drug, it's going to either reduce your ability to get rolls right. Usually, it makes it one extra level of difficulty to make everything work. And there's a chance of you becoming addicted to it, which means that you'll have to like do it every day, or there's going to be some consequences.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of personally shocked that there isn't a way for these drugs to kill you, because some of them totally can.
Yeah.
But whatever, I'm going by the basics on this one.
Yeah, be careful, because Jaden made me hooked on cocaine. It was ugly.
It was.
I thought, oh, I'm just going to party till the cows come home. But, oh, roll to see if you're addicted now. What? Oh, man.
Okay, so here's what I've got. I've put my skills in first aid. So my first aid number is now up to 65. I upped my intimidate to 45 because I would figure as a doctor I can intimidate people. Not in the not in the physical sense, but in the
medical sense of
in the
like you
mental
will be
sense.
laying in this bed.
Yeah. Or I know what I'm talking about. I upped my psychology to 50. I also upped my medicine to 41. So I'm more first aid than I am that. But I decided I've been doing a lot of work on dead people or people who've died. And my pathology is up to 50. And I've got
Cool.
a Latin of 30. I think that's
Very
it.
cool.
I think I've got, that's it. Yep.
I just
Fantastic.
did the because I couldn't make any big decisions, so I was like, well, okay, we'll just see how this goes. But one of my
Um,
best skills is listening.
Excellent. Well, that makes sense as a union organizer. Yeah. Though the way it's used in the game is pretty much like, do you hear the conversation whispered on the other side of the wall, or do you hear that
Yes.
creature sneaking up on you?
Yeah, exactly.
Now that everybody is put in your occupational skills, I will tell you now before we do the personal interest numbers that the main skills that I use in my games are psychology and spot hidden. So if you don't have too terribly much in those, don't worry, you'll have a chance of success later to improve
Okay.
that. But when it comes to personal interest, you want to like put some points in there.
Which
And-
one was that for? Spot hidden?
And how much?
Spot hidden in psychology.
And how
It's
much do we put in there?
That'll be totally up to you.
But
So off the points that we've already allocated?
Well,
In
the
an
points that
upcoming
you've already
section.
in
yeah.
another. Okay. So
Yes.
we'll get some more points to put into those.
Yes.
Cool.
Which we are just about to start.
Cool.
So personal interest points are intelligence times 2.
Intelligence times 2. How smart am I? Ooh,
some
I'm
some
smart.
questions you don't really want to ask, or you don't want to answer.
75 times 2. God, I have to get my
And you can put
calculator.
those points anywhere you want, including
All right.
skills that don't appear on the sheet, of which, if you want recommendations for things not appearing on the sheet, lip reading and hypnosis are the two of my personal favorites. Or as Ray has been advertised to, demolition, not on the sheet, but you can totally add it.
Oh, okay. So,
And they have.
and we can add it to as many as we want, correct?
Yeah, you can split those up any way you want. Just remember to add it to whatever base skill. And when it comes to arts and crafts, there is a more a list of those in the book. I can get you the page number. Give me a second. I'm in totally the wrong section. Give me a few minutes for that. But yeah, different different arts and crafts could include dance or singing, musical instruments. Hell, if you want, you can have basket weaving. I am not sure how that's going to work in the game, but hey, if you
Now-
can make it narratively interesting, I am willing to work with you.
And so these are only with regards to skills. So it's not like can I put some into fighting or firearms?
Oh, yes. Everybody, I would like to strongly recommend that some of your personal interest points go into a fighting skill if you don't
Okay.
already have one.
Okay.
I'm not picky whether it be brawl or firearms. Just keep in mind that if you choose, say, rifle or a machine gun, um, those are going to be kind of harder to conceal, which means that you might not have them when combat starts. So something that's more concealable, like a handgun, would work better in terms of firearms, or standard knuckle dusters if you're more of a brawler type.
Would we have, say, a handgun if we put that in our skill set, or is that something that we there's
Let's
a
say
way to get items?
United States of America, ma'am.
Yes, we are playing
You're
in the
handed one when you're
US.
born.
That's it.
Okay.
I will tell you now, the 1920s, just like the 2020s, the US is awash in firearms of all shapes and sizes.
Gotcha.
Which means that there will be a way for you to pick them up later, but so long as it's within your spending thresholds, I'll let you start with the gun. Hell, I'll even let you start with a rifle if you really want. Though in terms of like machine guns, or more in or hell, if you want like like something
Flamethrowers.
more military, yeah, you're gonna have to come up with like a good, reasonable backstory as to why you have access to that in the first place.
Where's arts and crafts?
I am
Up
actually
at the
looking.
third column.
Oh yeah, the one that says arts and crafts and big.
Yes, pretty much.
Testing your
Yes.
reading skills.
Well, once upon a time, it was alphabetical under arts on the first column, but they had to move them into the fifth column because I don't know what the hell is up with Roll20. I don't like it. They didn't ask me, and they won't change it for me. That's all I got. Um, but for those of you who need more, if you want more interesting arts and crafts, there's a sample section on page. Why aren't you giving me the damn page? 100. Hell, you can have forgery as your art and craft for those of you that are organized criminals in your spare time.
And let's not name call.
That wasn't name calling. That was like, hey, that could be a very useful thing for later on.
I love I can be a Morris dancer. Woohoo.
Well, hell, if you want to have Morris Dancer as your art and craft, hey, baby. I
Hey.
am not sure how that's going to end up being relevant in game, but you can have that
It's
skill
a
if you want it.
distraction. It's a distraction. You know, give me a few bells and a stick, I'll be away.
Actually, that'd be kind of cool.
I know where I'm going with this.
I'm from Appalachia, though. I might more likely be a Scottish, I don't know, Irish dancer.
Hey, you can do something akin to river dance. That'd be pretty fucking awesome. And very distracting.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the skills section in the book, and I see, like, say, natural world 10%. So is the 10% kind of giving you an idea of at what threshold you could start to have successes?
Yes.
Okay. So, like, if you rolled on, like, let's say 100 die or something, you have less than 10%, then you have a chance of succeeding in that skill. So the lower the percentage,
Mm-hmm.
the
Exactly.
the harder it is.
The better the success. So, what I didn't mention before, but why I put it on verbose, you'll get to know these as we start rolling stuff. And sorry, let me get back to the right page. Yeah, so for hard success, that is starts at 1/5 of your skill, and extreme success is 20% of your skill. And of course, if you happen to roll a 1 of anything, that's a critical success.
Okay.
And I will tell you that critical failure is 100.
So for hypnosis, it says 1%.
Exactly. Yes. So
So
you
you
have
have
a
a
base.
1 in 100 chance of. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Exactly. So if you add like even like 10 points to that, that'll give you an 11% chance of success.
Okay, so this is the default. Like, if you add no specialty in this, this is like the template. You will have 1% skill in this area. If you have put no extra points in it, that's what your chances will be. So, like first aid, it says 30%. So does that mean like, as just a random person for first aid, you have 30%? If you add more in it, then you're increasing your chance of success.
Exactly.
Okay, it's all coming together.
I know, hey? It's kind of exciting.
Right.
So what I ended up doing is I put because I had 150, so I put 45 in my brawl, thinking that hey, I dealt with some shady deals. I had to make sure I'm okay. So I'm actually a little bit of a not necessarily a brawler, but a much more finesse fighter. And then I put another 45 in spot hidden, which popped my spot hidden to 70. And
Excellent.
Oh, nice.
then I popped 40 into stealth because again, I'm going to be stealthy, so that pops it up to 60. And then I put the remainder 20. I put 10 in my intimidate, which again I had popped it up in my last stuff, so it's now 65. And in psychology, which popped that up to 60 as well.
Excellent.
Or 65 and then 60. Yeah. All right.
Cool.
I'm starting to get the sense of it here. Just means everything else I'm useless. Don't ask me to drive. Do not ask me to drive.
Well, I mean, Joe is probably going to be pissed if you attempt driving. So,
True.
And also, it's a house. I'm using the house rule, and I should have mentioned this earlier. No starting points over 75.
Oh.
Ooh.
Okay.
So, has anybody gone over
that's a good
75
point.
in anything?
I don't think I have. Hang on. Let me look at this. My medicine, no. First aid, no. So do 70 75. Nope.
Ooh,
Nope. No. I'm okay.
my credit rating's 79.
Oh, a credit rating, that's fine. You did specify you wanted to be somebody excessively wealthy, so you're good to go there.
Okay, thank you.
That's okay.
Besides, who else is going to bankroll the whole party?
Exactly. I mean,
That
my
seems to be
credit
my
rating
role.
is my credit rating is actually 25. I'm kind of because I'm just moved here and I've left everything behind. Kind of not as rich as a doctor should be, but that's okay.
I'm used to buying
starting a
my
new
friends.
life.
That's okay.
I will let that go, given your choice of backstory.
I'm a rich butch.
Yes.
Run away!
And if you
I'm not
care
rich
to,
in
you
real
can.
life, so I have to live this through my fantasy until the lottery comes in.
Well, I am sure that's going to improve your chances with the ladies.
Hell yeah! Just call me Sugar Daddy, Sugar Joe Daddy. Sugar Joe.
Oh,
That's
don't
not
worry. You'll find plenty of those when the time
bad.
comes.
Sugar Joe.
And you're bankrolling this expedition.
I think that
will
will be my character's nickname, Sugar Joe. Don't call me Joe. Call me Sugar Joe. Did you guys see that they were remaking The Color Purple? Yeah.
No.
And
Huh?
Shug,
Are
the
they?
character Shug, the lesbian character in
Oh.
it, Shug. Anyway,
Oh,
there you go.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all
Has
interesting.
everybody distributed your points?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Yes, let's see.
Okay. Let us all go to the combat tab of your character sheets.
Combat.
So so as you scroll down, just below where your stats are, it says skills, combat, backstory, spells, possessions, and settings. So please go to the combat portion of your sheet.
Okay.
Okay, so the first thing is your movement rate. Sometimes it populates, sometimes it doesn't. So the way this works is look at your size and your dexterity and strength.
I'm all over the place on that one.
So if your strength and dexterity are both less than your size, your movement is 7.
Okay.
Ooh.
If either your dex or your strength are equal to or greater than your size, your movement is 8. And finally, if both strength and dex are greater than your size, your movement is 9.
So basically 7 is your klutzy.
No, it means that if there's going to be any chases, foot chases, you're going to be slow and
Oh,
you might be eaten or caught by whomever is chasing you.
Well, I'll beat them then.
So
So, yes.
That's fair.
My strength and dexterity are both smaller than my size.
same.
Yes. So,
And that makes me
in that case, your movement is 7.
movement 7. Okay, thank you.
And please type that into your movement rate box, which is
They actually populated it for me. So
Yeah,
that's
Same.
it's populated.
yeah, well, I'm also
same
looking
here.
at Andrea's sheet, and they put an 8 there as a default. So
Yeah.
you need to go in there and put a 7. Exactly. Thank you.
Not a worry.
This is
Can't
why I'm
trust the
having you
sheet.
all look at it now, because
Yeah.
I noticed that the population on that is a little bit wonky, and
Okay.
I'm not
Gotcha.
sure
Cool.
what's up with that. Right. So, based on your fighting skills, you all can have a weapon within your spending threshold, which pretty much means if you can justify having it, I'll let you have it.
Mhm.
So, this means knuckle dusters, knives, handguns, rifles if you want them, shotgun. If you want any more exciting firepower than any of the aforementioned, let me know, please.
So brawl, would swords or clubs be a brawl weapon?
Clubbed. Sword is a
Club.
specialized skill.
Okay.
If you go back to
So-
your skills for a second,
Yep.
see how under Brawl it's got fighting skill 1, 2, and
Oh
3?
yeah. Okay.
So if you want something more specialized, say sword would be something that's specialized.
Okay.
Garrots, for any prospective assassins in future games, garrote is a specialized weapon.
Okay. I think I'm gonna have. Can I have a cane that acts as a club?
Hell yeah, you can have a cane.
So where's our spending limits? You talked about spending limits.
Okay. See where the combat tabs thing is?
Yeah.
If you go all the way over to where it says possessions, click on that. And it should give you your spending threshold. And I believe the drifter is the only poor person in the party.
Maybe not. Wait. What is considered low for spending level?
A credit rating of 10 or less is
fuck.
considered poor.
That's me.
Then you're poor.
Ah, shit. Accurate. Accurate.
Oh, actually, no. You chose a 10, so that's you are on the low end of average.
Okay.
So you're not too bad. I will not nickel and dime you.
Awesome.
So, like if I had a club then for my brawl, I'm sorry, I don't know how that fits into that spending level.
I'll just let you have it. They're relatively easy to come by. I will, however, need to go to the book to find out exactly what that means in terms of how much damage you do in a fight.
And
then,
for anyone, 106 for fighting specializations for anyone looking in the book.
6, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but does it have any information on No, it doesn't have the weapons.
No, just for people picking stuff. That's
Yeah, but it does. I'm actually looking for the.
weapons
where
table
it-
is pages 250 to 55.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for being the book monarch. I appreciate it.
Okay. And so what about a knife as well?
You want a knife and a club?
Yeah, I would have a small knife on me.
What size of club, large or
Okay.
small? And I can read
Yeah, I
off
can
the
see
stats
that.
if you want.
Small knife would be like a switchblade. So,
Yeah.
I got the stats for small or large club. Which one did you want?
It would be a small club, probably.
Small club is a 1d6 plus your DB, if you have any. And the range is touch, and the attack is 1. So it's like a nightstick size small club. So 1d6.
Attack is 1. Okay.
So
Switchblade, anyone? Or
switchblade. I was just looking at that. Switchblade is right in front of me and taunting me. 1d4 plus your damage bonus. And I will tell everybody that if you have a damage bonus, there's a damage bonus box just above where the weapons can be listed. And for an average human, that's only a d4. I've rarely seen it any higher than that. And based on how Roll20 does things, if you do have a damage bonus, you actually have to write it. So, for example, with that switchblade, you could just write it in the box as 2d4. Or if you've got something that's doing a d6 of
sorry,
damage,
for that
you put
2d4?
yeah, 2d4 for a switchblade. If you've got the damage bonus.
Yeah,
Do you
if you
have
got
Oh,
the
I don't
damage
have any
bonus.
of that.
and how do you get the damage bonus again? Sorry.
And that's being a big person.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm a big person, I think, but I don't have a damage bonus. My character's a big bonus. Is a big.
You're Mabel, correct?
Yeah.
Let me take a peek.
Big boned
Actually,
gal from the
Southern Alberta.
Appalachians. Yes.
Just
It's
wouldn't
your
call her.
strength and your size put together, right? So if your strength and size put together is between 125 and 164, you get a 1d4 damage bonus.
Oh, okay.
If
It's
it's
because
your
my
strength
strength
and
isn't that
size,
high.
yeah. If your strength
Yeah.
and size is below 125, then you don't get a damage bonus.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Most people
Thank you
are
for
either
that.
or. Yeah.
and it looks like you don't have any. So for just your switchblade, it's just the d4.
Okay. And so, sorry, just one more thing. So looking at this weapons table then, and it has the cost. So is this what then relates to that credit level or no?
Pretty much, I'm just going to hand wave everything off. I'm relatively loose with money.
Okay.
So pretty
You
much,
probably stole it.
Yeah.
exactly.
Or your
Um,
daddy
yeah,
gave it to you when they kicked you out of that squat house you lived in.
exactly.
Get out of there into
Precisely.
the world.
Yeah, so I am not like this only really comes into play if you want like a really expensive weapon, like a machine gun,
Right.
and stuff like dynamite that's a little bit more controlled. Though since we do have a union activist in the party, they might have some
Might
connections
just
with
have
the right people.
That would
You know,
explain.
mining is
that.
an important characteristic.
Exactly, and dynamite is used, and who's to say that they didn't detonate like 3 sticks as opposed to 4 sticks?
Exactly.
So
Really
you know,
hard to
if
tell.
yeah, it's really hard to tell, and so if a stick of dynamite goes missing here or there, like who's to say?
So,
Yeah.
so can I? So again, I just want your thoughts on this one. So you can do a blackjack, a kosh, or a life preserver. I have no idea what the hell a life preserver is. However, if I have a heavy cane with like a heavy knob head to it, could I use it as a kosh?
I guess so. I am not familiar with cautious, but I am just going to say yes, because why the hell
Okay.
not?
Okay. And the other thing is my strength and my size is 150. So technically I should get a bonus, correct?
I believe so. Let me double check my notes. I believe that's what Vicky said, but let me
Yeah,
double check.
yeah. If you're in 150, you'll get a 1d4 bonus, damage bonus. It's between 125 and 164. You get that.
Yes, 125 and
So
164.
1d4.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
actually,
Should
before you mess with your sheet, let me take a
Yep.
peek at it and see
Yeah, no
if
problem. Go for it.
and you're Dr. Irving, right?
Yes, I am.
Great. There we go. Come on. Pop open pad machine. Yeah, it's already populated on your sheet.
Is it? Oh, there it is. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't. Sorry. That's right. It is.
But you do have to
It
type in the damage. You do have to kind of type
Yeah,
it
yeah,
in
yeah.
the 1d4 blah blah, so that the formula when you hit it calculates in
Yeah.
the dialog box.
yeah. So for everybody who actually has a damage bonus, on your combat tab, it's got dexterity, dodge, build, and then damage bonus, and that's where your damage bonus is. For some of you, that's just 0. For other people who are over the threshold of 125 between strength and size, that's a d4. And when it comes to weapons, you actually have to actually type 1d4 into the damage box, because if you just type in DB, it won't do a damn thing.
Oh, I see now. So the range is touch. Okay, and I can just put range touch in there. All
Yeah.
right, I see. I see. And attacks is 1 per round. Okay. That's
Yep.
what attacks means, 1 per round. And there's no ammo for mine. What's
No ammo.
malfunction, I guess, is if I roll
Um,
a 96?
for a lot of these, it doesn't really have a threshold. So usually I go with something more like 99 or 100.
Okay.
For brawling weapons, that's more of like it. Think if like you're trying to strike somebody and then they get out of the way and then you end up tripping and falling on your weapon.
Right.
So think the antics of critical failure.
Right. Yeah.
That's what the malfunction is. For depending on what kind of firearms, that can be anything from completely missing and hitting one of your friends,
Yeah.
shooting the wall, or even just having the ammunition just getting jammed in the gun.
Right.
And depending on what's going on in combat, I'll be the one who's deciding what's going on with that.
Okay. Coolio. Okay, I think I got it. And we should put it
Question.
in our possessions.
You
Okay.
can if you want to.
Okay, I see.
And with the Kosh, you actually do have to type in the D8.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I did that. I think I did that.
Or not the
Yeah.
D8, the D4.
Oh, and then
So your damage bonus, for clubs, it's 1d8 plus d4.
and I just do plus D4 or 1.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay, fabulous. I'll do that. Okay, I see. All right.
There we go. And you're welcome to roll that just to like make sure it actually works.
And I do that by hitting.
First, in order to roll in this game, everybody's been on the edit mode thus far. If
Yeah.
you click on the edit mode to turn it off,
Oh, I
it'll go
see.
gray. There you
Okay.
go. And then
And
you can
then.
click on your weapon and it should roll.
Oh, there we go.
Ta-da! And you
Oh,
got an
there it
extreme
is.
success with that. That means extra damage.
Cool. Okay, that's fabulous.
Yep, exactly. So, does
You've used
everybody
up
have
all your luck
weapons?
now.
I know.
I have a dumb question. So, like, right back to the basics. When you like do the weapons, right? So we type in the name of it, and then it's probably going to be brawl if it's like a dagger or like a switchblade or something, right?
Yes.
Cool. And then in damage, what do I do?
Let me double check that. Switchblade is 1d4, and you do have a damage bonus.
Cool.
So for your switchblade, just make that 2d4.
So do I just type in 2d4 in damage?
Yes.
Awesome. Cool.
And the knife, is that a small, medium? Is that a medium blade?
Switchblade
like
is
a little-
small.
No. She also has a different blade.
Dagger. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
dagger.
Yeah, it's relatively it's small to medium.
Okay, I'll just roll that is medium because you already have a small one. That's 1d4 plus 2 plus your damage bonus. So put in 2d4 plus 2.
2d4 and then plus 2. Cool.
Excellent.
Awesome. And then range and stuff?
They're both touch.
Okay, so just type in touch. Awesome. Cool.
Jambia? Is that how you pronounce that?
I think so. My Arabic is terrible, but yes.
Okay, well,
Jambia.
I know where I'll be visiting YouTube for that.
Me too.
Though
Jambia.
I will tell you, and Vicky can also tell you, that we are playing in Berlin in my other Call of Cthulhu game, and I can't pronounce German to save my fucking life, which is pointed out on a relatively regular basis.
Nice.
It helps that we have 2 players that live in Germany
Actually, live in Germany,
that
and
correct
one who,
everything.
at least, and I think it was only one who actually has the game itself. So, every time I talked about landmark or what's in the museum, it's like, oh yeah, we can go see this thing, and it's like, yes, I can
Nice. Do I type anything else next to it, or is it all good?
This is the first time that there's a full
I'm
British
looking
team going over to America.
looks good. If we
Contest
need
against
anything
the
else, we
invincible
can
Mr.
get
Garwood.
to it later.
This is SL4. We have
Does
2
everybody
unsupercharged
have
napers,
weapons?
and inside is
As well as
SL5
damage?
with 2 supercharged
I'm feeling very
napers.
poor though, actually.
Um,
I'm not going to be a fighter, I don't think.
well, everybody should have something in fighting, or you're gonna get sidelined when it comes to.
I do, but I'm not going to have any fancy weapons.
That's okay. Your knife can do it.
I'm just going to stand
Yeah.
behind other people.
You can sneak up on people and slice their
Get them
throat.
first. Yeah, well, yeah. I'm going to put rocks in
and,
a sock. Doesn't have that.
I've been. Oh, go ahead.
Does anybody have any guns? It looks like Joe does. Does anybody else?
I figured that I would. I haven't gone through the handguns yet, but I was figuring I'd have probably a handgun and then maybe a blackjack or brass knuckles kind of in my bag because they'd be small. Because I figure I'm in the rough kind of group type thing. So I'm just trying to figure out what the details are for that. But
that's
I'll
not
look on
all
the
that
table.
challenging.
But I
by
just
all
wanted to make
means-
sure you were okay with that.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. You're not. Hang on, let me peek over at your your credit rating. You didn't put points in
30.
your credit rating.
I divided
pop-
my thing by 8, so.
Oh, if you only divided by 8, that means that you didn't get points for your credit rating. That means that you have to go back and divide by 9.
Okay, my mistake.
Right.
I will go do that right now.
And make sure it's only the skills that you put that are your occupational skills, not your personal interest ones.
I actually haven't added my personal interest ones yet, so I'm fortunate in that regard.
Okay, great.
Because I printed off the book and I'm like, okay, now I have all my homework. Now that I know how it's all going together, I plan to pour over all this here. Okay, so I will
you
remove
don't
these.
really have to read the book. It's totally cool.
Well,
It'll help,
you know.
but
I'm excited, I guess. I'll just say.
If you care to do so, then by all means, I shan't stop you. But I'm saying that in terms of having to, you don't.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. All right. So I had 240, and I had divided that by 8. Bip, 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 bip.
And don't forget to use the remainder, of course.
Yes.
I like this. I like this system. It's you can create rather interesting characters.
That's why making a character sheet rather than using a pre-gen is really helpful, because then you start to see how the system works.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So they always say when you start a new system to build a character, and then you'll understand the mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Except for Andrea, is everybody beweaponed and ready to go on to the next steps?
Yeah.
Yep.
Excellent. Looks like we're pretty much done on the nuts and bolts of the characters. I will mention that luck cannot be spent on luck rolls, because that'd be weird. Damage, sanity, determining amount of sanity lost, skill improvements, dealing with a fumble or a weapons jam, or altering another player's role. And the way I personally, as a house rule, I do not allow people to spend any luck points on improving their fighting. So if you are using any of your fighting skills for, be it in combat or just because you felt compelled to punch somebody in the face out of combat, you cannot use luck to make that work better. Great. Now, everybody, Andrea, I'm not sure what you're doing since you're a little bit askew.
That's okay. You keep going. That's okay.
Okay, so everybody, now let's go on to the next part of your sheet, the backstory, everybody's favorite part, and the part that I get to fuck with when you go insane. So in the book, if you care to go there, there is a backstory roller on page 53. You're welcome to use that, or you're welcome to do this, just start putting stuff in. I am not picky either way. And this is the part where I want you, like, for example, Dr. Irvin is, has escaped the Chicago mob, and did you personally know Al Capone?
No, but I have a distant relation to him.
Oh, interesting.
His sister is my aunt. That makes sense? No, that would make him my uncle. His sister is he's my...
How about second cousin twice removed?
Second cousin twice removed. I like that.
Excellent. So by all means, so like just basics on personal description. And the other important feature that you need to know is one of these will be extremely important to you, and you will put an asterisk or several in the box with that, whatever that happens to be it your ideology, your significant person, your meaningful location, or your treasured possessions. That would be the one thing that I cannot mess with if you do have a bout of insanity. And in fact, it will help you recover some sanity later on in the game if it's that important to you.
So, for example, I could say in Significant People, a brother who his sister what? I see. Sorry about that. Sorry, I was talking to somebody in my chat. So if I said a brother who was killed by, so I have a brother who died and was killed because of mob involvement. Does that work under Significant People, or do they have to be alive?
Oh, they can still be a significant person, but if that's going to be your most important feature, I would actually put the location of his grave if that's
Okay.
going to be your most important thing.
Okay, that sounds good.
But yeah, by all means, pick something. And this is also where I want you to start to flesh out some ideas of more of a backstory that I will then take, and whether you write it here, and those squares will, rectangles will expand the more you type into them. And also, I will remind you all that you have a bio and info tab. And if you hit the edit button, that's a ton of extra space that you can put in extra stuff, which we'll be getting to shortly. Because there's a few things that aren't on the character sheet that will be relevant in my game, but and I need some place for you to note them. And while everybody is contemplating their backstories, I'm going to go find more water. I'll be right back.
I like this one. Encounters with strange entities.
Who's doing all that typing? It sounds very proficient.
I know.
Might be me.
Yeah, it's just like, wow.
It's not perfect. It's typos, is what it is.
Well, by the sound of it, it's like, wow, that person is an amazing typer.
Thank you.
Keep it.
It's me typing things and going, how do you spell that?
Anybody need any help or have any questions?
I actually like the list on those pages. I picked up on one almost immediately.
Excellent. Yeah, they're kind of there as guides, and in some respects, I'm harkening back to the roll tables we used when making our characters for Cyberpunk Red.
Yeah.
Excellent. I like the suffragette.
Yeah.
You and the
Yeah.
you and the union organizer will get along well.
What page was that on again, please?
The backstory roller,
Yeah.
that's 53.
It's 3. Oh, just as I was rolling up to it. Thank you.
I can't spell inadvertently.
Actually, I'm pretty sure there's a spell check on this.
There is. Thank God there is.
Don't worry, I know the feeling very well.
away is Chicago from? I'm trying to figure out, am I a Chicagonian or Bostonian? How far away? How far away? Chicago.
Quite far. Hang
All
on.
right, so
I will. I have a map up. I'll have the lengths in just a second. And because I'm East Coast, it's giving me East Coast cities, but I have to type all of Chicago in. And no, I don't want to bike it. That would take forever.
I love that one.
Well,
Do you wanna
usually when
bike
I'm
it?
on the map, I'm usually like looking for biking distance.
Oh, yeah.
So about 1,000 miles. Let me switch
Okay.
to kilometers because you're like Canadian and stuff.
Oh, that's okay. That's a long way. I've decided to put the grave of my
1,500 kilometers.
Yeah, I've decided to put the grave of my brother in Boston then. What do you call a watch on a chain again? God, I'm just like
Pocket watch.
Pocket watch.
That's it. Thank you. I'm telling you, this week has not been my day for remembering things. I was trying to explain to somebody what I loved about Call of Cthulhu, and I said, it's like D&D. It's got a, and I was trying to say, but it's horror. But it's much more into like. And I was trying to come up with the term role play. I couldn't, so I like play acting.
Oh.
But he got it. He got it. And I thought, thank God for that. Somebody knows my language. Okay. So, traits. Let's take a look and see what traits I have. How annoying am I?
Oh boy.
That could be dangerous.
Hey, that works.
Nobody wants to answer that. No, I'm just kidding. Kidding.
Oh, I'm good with animals. I'm a dreamer. Hedonist. Gambler. Good cook.
Well, that might also explain why your credit rating is as low as it is. If you're a gambler in your spare time.
True. There is that, isn't there? I mean, that little bit of a. Yeah, I'm a gambler. Not a hedonist, that's for sure.
Here's me struggling to find food, and you're just frittering it away.
And I'd also would like to remind you as you're constructing your backstories that most of you are going to be either friends or family of the original investigators looking for Anne Cooper Hewitt. So pick one of those. And for those of you with more exciting backgrounds, you might just be in it for the reward money for finding Anne. But in general, I prefer parties that already know each other, even if you're just casual acquaintances or have just met. But I'm generally am not all that excited about doing the get to know you in a bar kind of beginning of a role play.
So here's something.
Yeah.
Considering my movement is 7 because of my things, can I kind of maybe also explain it by the fact that because I have a cane, that I have a limp, a slight limp?
If you want to.
Or does that create another penalty?
That is a good question. I would definitely put that in your injuries and scars box.
Yeah.
I'll just let it go as part of the overall There won't be a penalty, in other words.
Okay.
Just a feature.
Okay. It's like a slight limp. It's maybe why I kind of, but it's because I use I wouldn't necessarily do it. I might use it as a way of just.
Hell, it doesn't even have to be a real limp. You could just have
True.
I mean, if you need an excuse to have a cane that you also use as a gosh, I mean, come on now.
All right,
And as a doctor, I am sure you can manufacture a limp just fine.
I can. A slight limp. That's it. I'll just put that down as a slight limp. Figure that out. Whether it actually has something. Or it's something that maybe I could do without, or it hurts every now and then and I have to limp, like really on a cold night in Boston when the fog rolls in and my knee, it aggravates a knee injury. I don't know.
Excellent.
How's that?
Write it.
Yep.
And be sure to remind me if the weather is as foggy as necessary to cause pain.
Cold, damp, foggy.
Right. It's good to know that you have cold, damp B in your knee. Fabulous.
Hey.
But hey, I'm sure if you want to find a nice acupuncturist who can help you with that,
Probably.
you might be able to.
Yes.
You know, I don't remember offhand what kind of Chinatown Boston might have. I know New York City, San Francisco, Oakland, Chicago, and a bunch of other cities have them. I just don't remember about Boston.
Let's do. It does. An early history of Boston's Chinatown.
Oh, well, there we have it then.
In 1870s, Sampson's Shoe Factory in North Adams, Massachusetts, recruited 75 Chinese laborers from California. Of course, anti-immigration backlash, building a community. These are interesting. That's an interesting. I can pop that in if you want into.
Yeah, by all means, please do.
I'll pop that in for you.
If nothing else, after we're done with the entire campaign, those of you that are interested in details on the backstory, I have an entire section of that on my Discord server, which I will give you invitations to later.
Cool.
But yeah, if you add that, I will add it.
It's in the chat of our
requesting chat. No,
our
group chat.
The Discord chat.
Yes. No.
Okay,
wait.
cool.
I'm not seeing it.
Oh, if you click on the little chat bubble on Game Voice 1.
Oh, okay, that chat. Yeah, okay,
that chat. Sorry.
There are too many chats.
I know, eh? Just there's too many fucking windows open. I was like, I'm losing myself. All right. This is interesting. I quite enjoy this. All right. Now, arcane tomes and artifacts. Is that something we can roll?
No. Unless there is a compelling reason for you to have that.
No, there's none.
Then no, you don't get any right now.
Okay,
you might be able to find some. I didn't actually explicitly construct any into this particular campaign, but that's mostly because nobody asked.
No, that's okay. I'm an agnostic, so I don't really go into that. Science drives me.
Yeah, until somebody breaks out magic in front of you.
Exactly. And then I go insane.
Exactly.
All right. out. That doesn't make sense. Okay. Oh no, that's what I'm looking for. Stocky, not stout.
So, no offense, Ray, but you're driving me crazy with the typing.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
I don't know if you know this, but
mute.
in Discord you could go under your voice and video settings.
Mhm.
And you can go down to the bottom and you can put some noise suppression on and just choose standard, and hopefully that will help your mic not picking up your keyboard so much.
Cool. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, I've got a heavy
No,
keyboard.
I don't mean to be rude or anything. It's just
Oh no, it's good.
It's really loud.
Thanks for telling me. I didn't realize it was that loud.
But you do type very fast. Holy fuck! Like I'm a 2-finger typer, and I'm like, wow. Anyway, sorry.
A
No,
lot of it is
I don't mean to be
backspace
rude at all.
typos.
I don't mean to be rude.
Oh no, sorry.
So somebody in my chat, in my Twitch chat, says, "I thought it was CHEG's keyboard." No, it wasn't mine.
No, it's me correcting all my typos.
That's okay. Okay. So, are we? Is there? Did you? I mean, I know these are all things we're just kind of fleshing out our characters with, and I might go back and actually do a bit more.
Yes, please. If you feel compelled to, please do.
Yeah, I'm just kind of coming up with some stuff right now, but I don't think I need to add too much more. But I will probably add more when I've had some time to think about it. La 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 la. Can't pronounce my words these days. Okay. Yeah.
And because I didn't have one for here, you now have drugs and alcohol.
Oh.
Very good.
Oh, okay, there. That's okay. So that's what the different drugs.
So
and alcohol.
before your character partakes, know what it can do to you. And of course, I like the quote from Tallulah Bankhead, which I put in the Roll20 chat.
Oh, I love that.
I figured it was kind of appropriate considering the party.
Oh, I love it.
So for the chat, for anyone on Twitch, my father warned me about men and booze, but he never mentioned a word about women and cocaine. Bazinga! True that. Holy shit.
Yes, like I said, it was very appropriate.
That's so funny.
Anyway, I am going to pause whatever backstory you're all constructing, and by all means, in the ensuing month, please flesh it out even further. I will probably be private messaging you all in terms of what elements of your backstory to incorporate into the plot. And obviously, if you've got any questions or need help with anything, please, by all means, reach out to me. But for now, the other important thing that I wanted to ask you all about, and some of you already mentioned, what's your character's orientation and what are their politics? You can put that someplace in the backstory area, or you can put it in under bio and info. Either is fine.
Hardcore lesbian.
Well, yes, we already knew that part.
Hardcore butch lesbian.
There was going to be women with the side of women coming for
I
you.
like to dress in men's clothing, and I have tattoos. And did I mention I'm rich? I'm a rich butch. Did I mention that? And I like blondes.
Yes, you did. And
like blondes.
Yes, as the I'm going to take the wild guess that you've been hanging out at the Paris Club where all of the cross-dressing happens.
Most likely. Most likely. Every night.
Yeah.
Why did
Yeah,
I come to
yeah.
America? You can't even drink anything. You can't have a
Oh,
tauntaun or
well, you
anything.
can if you're wealthy. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah, uptight Americans. Blah blah blah.
yes, yes. As many of people have pointed out, Canada made a shit ton of money because Americans are puritanical, um, and all for the better. Um,
And all the people of Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, thank you.
exactly.
And St. Pierre
But,
Miquelon.
but as somebody who is wealthy, let's just say that for all of the organized crime around, which in this period kind of all but centers around the speakeasies, you can easily get whatever you want imported, and they're, as is pretty standard, if you're extra wealthy, let's just say customs isn't going to pay nearly as much attention as to what's in your luggage as opposed to somebody else's luggage.
Oh, nice.
So seriously, yeah, you can get a hold of any alcohol you want in the U.S., even though it's illegal. And of course, for those of you who are thinking about having a religious character, I will tell you that hordes upon hordes of people converted to Judaism and Catholicism and several other religions just to get access to booze, because
Nice.
there was an exception for religious related booze.
Like that. We like that.
So yes, we'll need an orientation for everybody because that's going to be the flavor of NPC that will mostly be hitting on your character, or you'll have to charm to get information from. Anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns?
Okay. That's interesting. So if I put the fact that I'm part of the Women's Institute and a suffragette, that fairly well rounds out my politics, right? Or are you looking for more detail?
Not necessarily. It was
Okay.
more of a generalized right, left, center.
Okay.
Don't give a flying fuck.
Okay. Fabo. Okay.
Um,
Oh, this is all going to be interesting.
yes, exactly.
Yeah. Like, is anyone not a suffragette in this group? Like, that could be a bonding thing too, as well. I think my character is definitely a suffragette, and doesn't really leave left or right too far either way. Is more interested in women's issues than more economic policy or anything like that. Because again, I'm rich, Butch, and
You're rich, you don't care.
my granddaddy was one of the founding members of Standard Oil. So whatever. But as far as
Well, and
but as far
suffragettes.
as rights for women's bodies and women's autonomy and women's legal rights and personhood and the right to vote, obviously, yes, definitely active in those realms.
But a lot, there were suffragettes, though, who even for the rights of women, but were against other forms of emancipation for other folks. And
Oh, yeah, that
Yes,
makes sense.
yes, there was
would
some
be,
serious racism in the
yeah.
suffragette movement, which I also recall that as soon as there was an opportunity to get white women to vote, they promptly threw black and other women of color under the bus.
Right. Don't know about that piece. I just know
Uh,
that there was racism and
eh,
things like that.
In the
oh,
United
yeah.
States? Or
Yeah, in the
Oh,
US.
God, yes,
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah,
Well,
I know the most about U.S. history, so I can't
Yeah.
speak too much to UK or Canadian history. But in the U.S., oh yeah, they totally threw
Yeah.
women of color under the bus in the
and I
suffragette
think,
movement.
and it wasn't just, and as well, it wasn't just based on race. It was also disabilities, because also eugenics and things was
Right.
Oh
big
yeah, yeah.
too.
Yeah.
And
So
First
Yes.
a
Nations women
lot of
didn't get the
different
vote
views.
for decades.
I mean,
Mhm.
And it,
in
I
Canada.
mean, and in a sense, it makes sense in the sense that it reflects the fact that probably those who primarily drove a lot of the suffragettes and movement came from higher socioeconomic stance
hmm
than
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
leadership per
Exactly.
se. So it doesn't surprise me that you would
And
find those elements within those
it's even for women,
organizations.
a lot of those bigger folks weren't on the ground for, supporting poor women and things that would make women's lives easier. I mean, it was for some, it was just a focus on votes and that was it. Not necessarily some wider, or what would be deemed socialist ideals at the time.
Mhm.
But anywho, so you can be anywhere on that, really. They weren't the only ones who fitted into that regard. It's not a blanket statement that you were into other politics.
Gotcha.
Anywho, I just want to be hanging on Vixter's coattails because she sounds so rich. She wouldn't notice me having me living
Oh,
off her a little bit.
oh. Well, it also makes sense for them to be semi-apolitical, except for this one issue, in the sense that rich people, their politics are, how do I get more money and keep the money that I already have?
How's life gonna be
So,
good for
I got so
me?
much money. I don't worry about that.
well, yes
No one's
and
ever going to
no.
take it away. And I bought my. I'm going to buy an island and have my own kingdom soon. So whatever.
Oh, welcome.
You could say that, but I'm thinking of the ultra wealthy in the US that are doing everything in their power for more tax cuts for the wealthy, as
hmm
well as anything that's left leaning, that's, socialism, communism, or anarchism. They're coming for your wealth, and most wealthy people are see that as a serious problem. So the ultra wealthy tend to skew right wing.
Yeah, but I think there's also like with and I'm just generally speaking, and just after reading some of the biography stuff on this particular person that has inspired this character, is young and wealthy, as most young and wealthy people do, sometimes rebel against their own families and the establishment, right? And they take
Oh,
their
hell
wealth
yeah.
and they try to do something better with that wealth and more
Yeah,
altruistic
absolutely.
means, right?
If
Like,
you want to do something, if you that's the thing that you want to do,
Philanthropic? I'm here.
and let other
yeah.
wealthy people worry about uh, generally protecting the wealthy class, by
Yeah.
all means, you're welcome to play your character. However,
You know what's interesting about this person actually is that they had, after the war, they served as an ambulance driver. Um, and after the war, a lot of the other ambulance drivers who were their friends, they started up their own company called X Garage in the 1920 in London, and they were like an Uber type thing where they were all women drivers driving different
mm,
cars, chauffeuring people all around London and the surrounding area for money. They had a garage, and above the garage, they had living quarters and lived there together, and that lasted about 6 years. But isn't that kind of fun and interesting? High class
What?
clients, corporate clients, they would drive around. So Uber is not a new thing by any means, and it was all these veterans of the ambulance corps.
And I'm sure they were all the best of friends. And there
Yeah,
was
oh
no hanky
exactly,
yes,
panky that ever
that's
happened.
exactly. So
oh yeah,
Elon,
nothing in the slightest.
yeah, Elon Musk totally stole X for Twitter from the X Garage that Joe Carstairs started. Bastard.
Andrea, did you see the DM that I sent?
Grabbing phone.
So is
Yeah,
it
I've just
DM in Discord?
I've
Yeah, it was just a direct. So you can either uh, answer verbally or type it, either or. I just was wondering where you were at.
Okay.
Oh yes, thanks. So I just had gone through and I just made sure that everything was correct by the book. So I checked like my base amounts for everything. So I have it written up for my occupation points and then my personal skill points. So I have that like documented the information I need that I'm going to be spending, say, 160 points. None can be higher than 75, and then the ones that are of note. So I at least comfortable that I have the information I need, but I want to move forward and keep up with everybody. So I'm wondering, is it possible for me to add the points in later, or should I go and add them now?
Well, that's kind of the deal. I was wondering if we should make this a shorty session, or if we can actually start playing. But if you don't have any skill points allocated, then we kind of can't play because you can't roll.
Well, if you guys want to start, maybe I wander over to you later. I don't want to keep you guys, so.
Well, how does everybody feel? Do you want to have a short session today, or do we want to get started and have the union activist, I don't know, like be delayed by, I don't know, beating up some, boss that was problematic?
It might also be interesting just to kind of establish how we all know each other, or how we're connected to this.
Oh, well, that would be
Like-
fantastic.
Like,
That
I
would
mean,
be a
I
spot
don't
of
really
role-playing
understand.
that doesn't need a sheet.
Yeah, like, does everyone want to introduce their characters? I mean, I've blabbed on and on about mine. You know mine, but I don't really know too much about yours. Except, what
Great.
occupation
Well,
you have. Who are you people?
Who are we? All right.
Well,
Well,
in
I'll
that
start.
case,
Oh, sorry. Go
Or
ahead.
just,
yes,
or
please
just,
do.
or
Go
just a
for it.
flavor of your personality, even.
Okay. I'll start. I'll do a quick thing. I am. Oops, wrong one. Sorry. Where is my thing? There we go. So I am. Come on, bring it up. Bring it up. There it is. Sorry. There we go. So I am Jennifer Irvin. I am a medical doctor, trained and worked in Chicago. I have a very distant relationship to Al Capone. And also with that, I had slightly got sucked into the whole mafia connection, but only on the periphery. With my medical skills, I patched people up. Al Capone. I patched people up. I did some first aid, lots of first aid, but I also helped to disguise some of the mob hits into natural, what would hope to pass as natural death. So I have a bit of pathology knowledge as well.
Oh, baby. Sorry.
But that's okay. But I needed to get out because of a personal tragedy. So I find myself now in Boston. I am involved with the Members Women's Institute. I a suffragette. I also, as with my medical services, and to try or to earn a bit of cash on the side, because of course, having left the mob, I can't actually set up an official medical service. I provide abortion services and sexual health services to women on the side.
Yay!
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Pro-choicer.
I am a tall, 5'9", stocky. I have the persuasion of a lesbian, but I like being single and being on my own. I have a brother who passed away.
What kind of lesbian are you? I like being single and on my own. Come on, get the U-Haul out.
Nope. I have a rather I of course I dress in kind of semi non-traditional feminine ways. But classic lines. However, I'm not that rich, so it's a bit patchy, a bit scruffy. So I walk with I'm trousers, shirt, jacket, that kind of stuff. I walk with a slight limp, as mostly aggravated on cold, foggy nights, with an aggravation to an old injury. Hence, I'm which I need to figure out how I got. So yeah, that's basically it. That's me.
Cool.
Awesome. Who would like to go next?
Oof, I feel a bit overwhelmed having to go next after that. Blimey. Okay, well, I will
I
go
know
next.
you. You will do this so well, if not now, but later. I know you.
I know. Well, oof, it's a tough crowd to be around, and I kind of think I'm swinging to the union organizer actually, because I am, big bone gal from not quite southern Alberta this time. I'm from the Appalachians, and times have always been tough in the Appalachians. We kind of have a small farm growing potatoes and berries and things like that, just more subsistence than anything else. And times have been getting harder. That my brothers actually had to go off and work in the mines because we needed the money. And so it was left for me, my dad, and my mom to kind of scrape together in the farm. Yeah, so I know how to do everything that it needs to do. I can tinker around with an engine and mess around with a horse to get it going and all that sort of stuff. So I'm a bit of a jack of all trades, but this is the 20th century. This is the time of like this amazing building these super skyscrapers I've heard about in the cities, before I kind of left, and cars and all those things. So it's a really exciting time, and I'm kind of feeling like, you know what? I see pictures, I read books, I read the papers, and it's like there's a life out there. This is what I was saying to myself. There is a life. So when the creditors came knocking and we couldn't really keep things going and we were selling, Ermintrude, the old cow, and it was like things were getting tough and they were even taking some of the chickens away to cover some of our debts for the taxes. I was just like, I'm kind of done and felt really guilty leaving mom and pa, but my brothers, they're kind of there and the mines are paying some reasonable money. So anyway, I left. Caused a scandal though. You can imagine. A girl, 21, out in the world. There's Mabel Crabtree going off, walking down the dusty path on her own. God knows what's going to happen. So, anywho, I like to dress in my jeans, a kind of shirt, my boots, always ready for, having to work and things. And kind of realize, it's not too bad if the world thinks you're a man because they kind of leave you alone. So, I've kind of, cut my hair a bit shorter and that stuff. And on my travels, I've learned a bit about women's suffrage kind of thing. Yeah, a lot of suffering for women in this world I've seen. Because that was one thing. I didn't want to have babies. God, babies are hard work if they don't kill you, kind of thing. So anyway, got a bit into a bit of activism, bit of this, bit of that, but I've drifted along. I haven't stuck any one place because I'm trying to find out who I am and what there is in this world, and I'll be. I'm excited about that, but I know I'm not going to be a Hollywood starlet. I just don't have the bone structure, and no one's going to put me in a nice silvery dress and fawn over me. So I got to find my way in a different way. So yeah, I kind of travel. I got a friend called Walter on the boards, on the trains and things, and he's kind of showing me the ropes. And I've had a few crushes on my girlfriends, but I'm not certain about that. Don't know much about that. Didn't talk about that in the Sunday Presbyterian Church, so I'm still yet to discover what all that's about. Um, so there's no kind of girly that I'm thinking about now, but I don't really I'm not much in the other way. So anywho, that's something that's a bit of a mystery, and yeah, I'm not quite certain. And yeah, and I got a few friends back home now that I miss madly. I'm loyal. I'm a loyal person, and I'm kind of honest, and I'm down the line, and I'm straight, and I don't know. Sometimes them rich folks, I don't really understand what they're saying, but I can smell a bullshitter a mile away. Don't work around bulls long, as long as I have and not know when one's crapping on your boat. So, yeah, that's me, kind of thing. Oh, I just want to tell you that I kind of got a bit of a bent, crooked little finger on my left hand. Got caught in a mangle when I was 7. Had to do the laundry for all the family. So yeah, I know how to work, and I
I
hate
love that.
rats.
They
You hate
sold your
rats?
they sold your chickens?
Yeah,
Oh God,
yeah,
look.
yeah. We got like 2 chickens left. Just like pressure, chug away, get them eggs out, because we sell them eggs. You wait till you have that day when you're having fried egg mixed in with some grass, boiled grass, and that's your meal for the day. There you go. I can kind of relate why them Russians got mad.
Oh,
We should get mad.
Brilliant.
You are a
And
survivor. That
do you have
was fabulous. Honestly, that was fabulous.
Yes,
was
yes, that most
That was.
definitely
Like
was
I just want to
fabulous.
clap. That was beautiful. That was
Well,
honestly.
thank you very much.
That's,
That's me done now.
And how are you connected to the investigation? Is there
How
any how do you see yourself? Because I'm listening intently because I do think our characters will probably connect in some way. We probably have a good overlap in some way, but I was just curious if that's something that you've thought of yet.
No, I haven't quite thought of. I haven't quite thought because I need to get a suss out for the others. But what I'm thinking is because I'm all for a bit of adventure kind of thing, and been mixing with activists, and often with activists you meet people with a bit more money. So like I've gone to some meetings, and there's some folks who are a bit wealthier than me, and I can talk, and I look clean and scrubbed up, and I'm not too threatening. So I'm kind of thinking that I've probably bumped into a few who've pointed me in a direction to kind of use my skills, or if they've needed my diverse skills and wanted to help me out, kind of stuff. And here I am on this investigation. Also, too, I read. I kind of read and I chat to people, and I find out that someone's disappeared and there's some money to be had. That money would do me good. Who knows what I could do with that money? Could end up in California. So that's what I'm thinking.
Excellent, thank you.
Cool. Can't wait to hear about you.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't have it worked out totally firmly yet, but I'm kind of thinking, younger guy maybe. I'm trying to figure out the age. I'm thinking maybe kind of late 20s or so. He's smart. He wanted to maybe be a lawyer, but his family's really poor, and that's just not going to happen. But that overlaps with a lot of his strengths. He's culturally Catholic, though how much personal belief he has, that's that fluctuates week to week. He's from an immigrant family. He's a first generation American. I'm not sure whether it'll be like an Italian background or Irish background, but definitely used to being around hardworking people. Has an idealistic core, and that's part of why he got involved with organizing. But of course, now he's seen some of the seedier side of that. And so he's been drawn into using his hands a little bit more than his mouth, which, he's usually used to being able to talk his way around a situation and to solve a problem. But as he's become involved in more diverse ways, he's unfortunately, come to realize that sometimes words aren't enough. And so he has grown in his abilities in that way, although that wasn't exactly what he imagined when he wanted to advocate for people and get drawn into making lives better for his people, like his father, his brothers, who he saw, being treated like dog shit in their different areas of work. He's fairly practically clothed. He sometimes might have a little bit of a nicer jacket, but that has been carefully repaired by his mother, sometimes with a small patch of leather or, a button that doesn't quite match the rest of them. So, he's mostly interested in practical appearances, but he is aware that sometimes not looking quite so scruffy makes it a little bit easier to get access to folks or to have them trust you, because not everybody has working hands or appreciates the fact that just because you're a little bit dirty doesn't mean that you're not ready to have a conversation or that you don't have anything to contribute. Family's meaningful to him. I'm not sure if I want to connect him with having any of his own immediate family, like having a kid out of wedlock or something like that. But I think his personal family certainly is very meaningful to him, as his parents and siblings. And I do like the idea of having some sort of connection to Mabel, possibly just even having met or intersected in certain activist events. He's curious, he likes to learn, and but does have a little bit of resentment as well for people who don't have the opportunity to fulfill their capacity in life, just like he felt for him and for some of his other family. And I think he would also have a lot of understanding with Mabel and the way she might dress and present herself, understanding that the world is easier for some people than others. Yeah, that's basically all kind of what I have for now.
Cool.
Awesome.
I was, if I may interject,
Indeed.
I was kind of thinking that you, Mabel, and Jennifer would probably all have some contact, at least in the suffragette movement, and how that intersects with union organizing. Not to mention, as the union organizer, it kind of helps to know where to refer the women that you're organizing and the wives of the men that you're organizing for reproductive services.
Gotcha.
I also help to. You also probably send some of the people. You know how you'd get union bust ups and all this kind of violence. Like I can patch them up
Exactly.
without reporting it to the authorities.
Perfect,
Not to
okay.
mention any gunshots, because I'm pretty sure that needs to be reported now. I'm not sure offhand if that had to be reported back then, but I'm pretty sure that doctors and nurses as snitches was a thing back then too. So
Yeah.
even if they didn't have to legally say anything, they might have done so anyway.
Yeah, depending on where they stood on the issues.
Exactly.
Perfect. Excellent. Okay, I like that.
So Ray and Reed.
Woo! Okay. Let's see if I can remember half of the backstory. Here we go. So they are about like 24-ish. They're quite young. They're a photojournalist. They're like non-binary, like woman plus area. And they live in Manhattan because they moved there for uni, but they're originally from Petra in Jordan. They were born to a middle-class Jordanian family, and their older brother was cast out for being gay, which is what compelled Reed to become like a queer activist. So they're kind of in the like activist-y space as well. They're an aspiring suffragette because they're not rich enough yet. But they're a pro like POC one, so and they're also super duper queer. They're a little lesbian twink. And they also dabble in a bit of drag. They do a bit of drag kinging because they're inspired by Claude Cahun, who's a fellow photographer and drag king at the time. Yeah, I wanted to chuck that in there because I really like Claude Cahun. So they moved to Manhattan to study anthropology so they can help people because they were disenfranchised with the whole situation that happened to their brother. And to pay for the move, and to pay for uni, they kind of dabbled in photojournalism jobs, freelance style, taking jobs for newspapers and stuff to try and pay for it, hence why they're not got a lot of money. And they also wanted to help people and stuff as well, which is why they're taking those jobs. But they have to do fluff pieces and stuff, which they hate.
Does any journalist like fluff pieces?
Right? Exactly. And I'm going to pronounce it horribly because my Arabic is terrible. But they changed their name from Rayan to Reed so that Americans can pronounce it. ironically. And it's also a lot queerer. And they dress in men's clothing. They have tattoos and stuff. They're liberal. They're superstitious and believe in like karma and things like that. And their best friend that they met at uni is called Thatcher, and Thatcher took on this mission originally, and they've now gone missing, which is why Reader's taken on this mission to go find them, because that's their bestie. And they're very loyal to their friends. They're like, where'd he go? And they're very charming and good with people due to their like journalist backgrounds. And they're a bit of a ladies' lady. A bit, you know, a bit of a Lothario. And they're generous and a dreamer, so they always want to help people. And they're highly creative, but because they're so young and inexperienced with stuff, they give into like flights of fancy quite easily. Yeah, I think. Oh, and they when they were young, they saw the ghost of their brother once, they think, which is why they believe in like ghosts and stuff like that. Yeah, I think that's Reed.
Nice.
Very cool. And actually, I kind of need to ask. It sounds like Reed is the only BIPOC person in the party. Am I right?
Yeah,
Anybody else?
she's Arab.
Anybody else?
Nope.
Everybody else is white then?
Yes.
Yeah.
And oh, good. Andrea's typing because she keeps going in and out.
Yeah.
Good to know. And well, as soon as Andrea gets back into voice, can you hear us, Andrea? Maybe slightly.
I don't know.
Okay.
Can I ask Jaden, like you said, we had you would like us to have a connection with the original party that went to search for and
Yes.
Cooper Hewitt. Who are they? Just so we can kind of figure out what our connections might be with them. Because I can't remember. I mean, that was back at November, right? That we played.
Well, that's the thing. I wasn't thinking that you would use the pre-gens that I had used.
Okay.
I just figured that you would just say, "Oh yeah, my friend, named whomever was one of the party," rather than going back to the pre-gens that I used. So literally, pick a name and tell me how you're related to them. And if you, and also very importantly, if you think they're alive or if you're just trying to recover the body at this point.
I say from my connection, unless we're going to do the connections that I would also have with Andrea's and
Well,
Will,
actually, between the
but-
three of you, if you want to share one person, that's totally
yeah.
fine.
So I'm thinking
I'm not particularly picky with
maybe
the
there was
quantity.
somebody who was in the suffragette movement. We kind of knew them. Kind of heard. I'd had a personal conversation. They said they were getting involved in this investigation. I noticed that they missed some meetings. I went to their place and was told by their landlady or landlord they'd been gone for some time. And I'm here to just see where they're at. And I figured that this is the last clue, so I'm going to follow it. How does that sound?
Excellent. What's their name?
Jonathan McDonald.
Did they have a farm?
Did they have a farm?
I'm going to, I've got the X card, but I don't have a cringe button like I do have another game. I might have to install one.
I'm sorry, who's Jonathan McDonald?
I was trying
You are
to
gonna be hitting that
come up with the
permanently.
name of the connection, the connection of the person that I knew, and I'm like, I don't know, I kind of I used up. Listen, I have a finite amount of the capability to ad lib and be creative. I used it all up. So,
I'm done.
Quill, Quill, what do you think? It's somebody. I was figuring it was somebody in the suffragette movement. All three of us would have known.
So we're thinking of a separate person, are we?
Yeah, who was involved in the original investigation and who disappeared, and that's why we're getting. That's how we're getting back into. It's also because they were hired to look for this person. I can't remember her name. Sorry.
And Cooper
Um,
Cooper Hewitt.
yes,
Yes.
and Cooper
And you
Hewitt.
can Google her.
And-
She's a real person, guys.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
So could we have, that maybe one of the big organizers in the suffragettes is, a local lady with a bit of wealth kind of thing that probably pulled us in and kind of talked to us about this and said who was investigating, and then maybe we connected then with them. So, like we could say someone like
what's
uh,
the name?
well, we could say actually Violet Schwartz, because we'll keep with the Violet title. Violet Schwartz was
There, I
this.
think that name's much more appealing to the folks at the table.
Yeah, we're gonna be like Mrs. Violet Schwartz from the Big Brownstone somewhere, wherever we are in Boston. Don't know Boston that well. And she talked to us about
Having
how
been
terrible it was this girl had gone missing, and that these people were investigating, and it might be helpful to get some more people involved in looking for this poor misfortunate woman.
all right, I could go for that.
Can
Does
I
that
ask a
sound
question?
viable?
Can I ask a question, Jaden? Like, so just I mean, I know you based it on a real life person, but how old is Ann Cooper Hewitt in your story? Like, is she a
Oh,
child? Is
that.
she because she was born in 1914 originally, right?
Yes. Yes. So I took a lot of
Oh,
liberty
girl.
with changing times and dates around. So in this story, she is 20, 6 months before her 21st birthday, and 21 for the intent of inheritance and adulthood is the age in question.
So would she have been, I don't know what you were thinking, could she be a part of the suffragette movement or shown some interest, hence why she was on the radar of Mrs. Violet Schwartz and the interest in finding her?
Yeah, I can definitely see that. As you will, it'll become common knowledge to your characters later on. But I will tell you now, so you can plan around it, that Anne was pretty much abused and all but kept prisoner by her mother.
If she's 20,
So,
I mean, because the
yeah.
whole her mother claiming she was promiscuous and too wild, she did have some money. Would she have been in the New York socialite scene or the Boston socialite
Well,
scene, or just give us an idea?
She would have made appearances, but she wouldn't have been able to like get far from her mother. So it was like pretty much to keep up appearances.
Oh, even then, yeah, okay.
Yeah, because your characters will find this out later, but I will tell you the players now that the way the inheritance is from her father, Peter Hewitt, or excuse me, Peter Cooper. Sorry. He pretty much insisted that to inherit, she has to have children.
Oh.
And her mother took pains to make sure that that wasn't going to happen,
Yeah.
or was in the process thereof. And that could be an extra connection
Yeah.
in terms of because what mommy was doing was basically talking to various doctors to see if they'd be willing to do a special appendectomy in quotes, which was really a hysterectomy.
Maybe what we could say is she actually came to me and I turned her away.
Uh,
Indignant.
that's kind of where I was hoping for.
That's
Okay.
cool.
Yeah. I
That's
would say
cool.
she
Yeah.
came to me and I was like indignant by it all. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'll go with
Hell
that.
yeah. That is yeah. So you are all welcome to like look up Ann Cooper Hewitt and the whole thing, because that's kind of what made eugenics start to look bad, particularly in the US.
Ah.
And it was kind of a sad feature that it had to happen to a rich white woman before people stood up and took notice of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because hysterectomies were happening right, left, and center to women of color because they were deemed lesser, and it was just part of the whole eugenics movement of, well, we don't want those other people breeding.
That's where they were doing the First Nations women, when they go into the white hospitals to have their babies, they would sterilize
Mm-hmm.
them while they were unconscious with the epidural.
Exactly. Yeah, that happened
No
quite a
consent.
bit, and not to mention with Black women in the U.S. In various contexts, be that they were imprisoned on trumped-up charges because Jim Crow was really just another way of saying slavery.
Yeah.
Because totally legal, and in fact, in some places in the U.S., it's totally legal to enslave people if they're in the prison system.
Mhm. But also, too, if you look at folks with developmental intellectual disabilities, sterilization went on for till fairly relatively recently.
Oh, well, that's the thing. It's still happening right now. I mean, there was a big scandal. What was that, like 2019, with migrant women in Georgia, I believe? They actually called one of the doctors practicing at that internment center for migrants pretty much the uterus collector.
God.
Oh, that's awful.
Oh my
Right.
God.
Oh God.
Yeah. So
Anyway.
it's still
Yeah.
happening.
I know.
So yeah, it's not good. And I'd be deeply shocked if we had managed to eradicate it, because there are a lot of people who don't think that, who believe in the whole white replacement conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So sorry, can I just take a quick bio break?
Oh, yeah, actually,
Okay.
sorry. I usually do that at halfway through, so I am terribly sorry. Everybody,
That's
let's
okay.
take 5,
I've
go get water, go pee, go, I don't know, stretch your legs.
I've had like pop and tea, and I'm like, ooh, I might need to take a break.
Come to think of it, that sounds like a fine plan. Anyway, everybody, take 5, please.
All right.
Okay.
Vicky, are you back? Take that as a no. Quill?
I'm back.
Also, oh, there you are.
Hello.
Ah,
Hello.
Cool. Well, in that case, for those of you who are here, let's see, Vicky, your character, do they usually appear as a dude in the streets?
Yeah, I mean, just think they're wearing a hat and trench coat, just like Humphrey Bogart. Depending on what time of the year it is, I figure it's Boston. It rains a lot. And if the connection could be maybe on the father's side of Anne's family, there's maybe an aunt or something, or cousin or something that was
Oh,
part of.
you actually want to be related to Anne?
No, no, no. I don't want to be related. I just want them to have a female relative on the father's side that was part of the initial investigation, and they or she has disappeared. And Sugar Joe would have known them through, say, I don't know, some connection as a
Cool.
friend in social lights, because his father's side of the
Make
family was right.
if that isn't already in your backstory, put it in. Find a name for them, please.
Okay, sure.
That'll be very useful.
Just something like that, right? Even an ex-girlfriend or something like that.
It's totally cool. I am happy for that sort of connection because seriously, yeah, from the mother's side, it wouldn't be as useful.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking, and maybe they disappeared as well, right? And so I'm trying to find out where my friend's gone. So
Hell yeah, that's pretty cool.
I'm just gonna
Right.
put it in
So,
my encounters with strange entities, just because it's got more room in it. If that's okay.
well,
Or,
the exorbitantly wealthy are kind of strange creatures, so that works.
yay! Thank you.
Zhag, does Dr. Jennifer usually, how do they usually appear?
So it's like so it's more androgynous than anything else. Think of like Marlon Dietrich. But she's fairly kind of like she's 5'9", stocky, or stout, or stocky. So she would and she does dress in kind of, trousers and stuff like that. However, she isn't trying to go drag or anything like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Would most people like clock her as male or female looking at her?
Most people would look twice because they would see that because she wouldn't come off as a she wouldn't come off as a male per se, but she wouldn't also, so they'd be looking at her and thinking, oh, it's a woman dressed as a man.
Yes. Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
I know precisely what you mean.
Yeah.
That'll be a little bit messy for later, but I'll work with it. Because you'll see where we're going with this.
Uh-huh. I know where we're going.
Yeah, well,
No,
you might consider that straight to hell, but hey.
Oh yeah.
So, Quill, Mabel, how do they present?
Sorry, I missed the bit. What do you mean by present?
Did they seem more male or female if somebody were looking at them, or hell, hanging out in the middle, androgynous?
I think they're androgynous. I think there's an active so Mabel has a kind of at times has done like shortened her hair, but not close crop, but has shortened it to a point as well where she can stick it under a cap and things to look male, because as a drifter it's kind of helpful to pass as a man. Not that she's actually wanting to be a man or pretend to be a man, she just wants to stay safe. But yeah, is a woman, but also too she grew up on a farm, rural community, wearing kind of trousers is not completely out of the ordinary there. So I suppose when she gets into the city, she'd be seen as a little masculine, double take on her not dressing like a proper woman would do, but she's kind of neutral in that respect. But she's not keen on wearing dresses.
That's cool.
But again, if
But
she
you
had to
can,
wear a dress, she would.
but Mabel could totally pass for a man if she felt like it.
Yeah, and in fact, she actively does at times when she's traveling on the trains and things.
Okay. Yeah. Let me go back to Dr. Irving real quick.
Mhm.
Can she pass for a man?
She could. Yes, she could. I think if so, her hair is probably more shoulder length, so she could tuck it away, and she could. Well, why not? She could strap her breasts and pass as a man.
Okay. Totally
How's that?
cool. Yeah. No. There's going to be some very gendered stuff coming up
Mhm.
in the game. It's just going to be a question of like, for all of you who are more androgynous, you'll have to specify what you're looking like that particular day. And I'm sure that when you encounter that particular group, there's going to be some confusion. But we'll get there. Anyway, Andrea,
Well,
is your activist is this guy?
yeah, I know.
Okay, that no, it's totally fine. I'm just want to get ideas. Is there any amount of cross dressing in his life?
uh, Not in particular. His work and curiosity has definitely led him to befriend a wide variety of people. So, although his inherent Catholicism, ring a ding dings at certain things where he's like, I don't know, I think the Pope would be mad about some of this. But he knows that people are pretty cool and pretty nice, and so he's seen people who have cross-dressed or things like this. But no, he's pretty presenting. He's sensitive, so he was probably picked on a little bit as a kid. But yeah, that's about it.
It's totally cool. I'm just looking for general presentation. So,
Yeah.
Reed, how does Reed present most of the time?
So she wears men's clothes, but she has long hair, so it's kind of people kind of have to do a double take. They're like, wait, hang on. But because of the long hair, I think that kind of makes people lean into thinking that she's more like female.
That's totally cool.
Yeah, but because she does drag, she can pass as male if needed. Sometimes.
Okay. Well, hopefully you'll all know enough to do research before you encounter this particular group. Cool. See what else. Right. I'm going to need pictures for everybody else. I have one for Joe, but the rest of you, since it looks like we're not going to actually get into playing today, I will need it before we get started next month. So whenever you hunt down a picture for your character, awesome.
We can just email you the GIF, right?
Yeah,
or the
please
picture.
do.
Sorry.
GIFs move. So wait,
Yeah.
no,
Sorry.
no, it's not.
No, it's
No. GIFs aren't the moving
The
ones.
easiest way to do it too is to edit your character sheet and just attach the picture there.
Okay.
Except that I can't pull. For some reason, I can't always pull those off to get them into the character stamp. So I'd prefer you to actually mail them to me.
Oh, really? Because that's
DM to me.
Yeah. Or you can make your own token like I did and also attach it through your character sheet as a token.
Or hell, you could do that too.
Yeah. Now, but the only thing is I can't seem to, on the tokens, I don't have permission to put my character sheet to my token that I dragged over.
Where is your token?
It's just on the side by your other guys, right by Richard. Can you link it to my character sheet, please?
Oh, hell yeah. Sorry, I didn't even realize that they were still there. Sorry about that. I thought I got everything from the last campaign. No, I don't want
I just can't seem to link it to the character sheet.
Yeah, it's some permission stuff, so get rid of them.
Yeah. I've just opened a folder and I'm just saving all sorts of random inspiration photos. So I'll pick
Cool.
one, but I'm like, it's just interesting, like the fashion that's there.
Yeah, very much so.
I will update the rest of your token later with hit points and sanity points and all of that later, but for now, that should work.
Thank you.
No problem. I
Except
appreciate that.
except it still isn't coming up.
Is it not working right?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not letting me open up the character sheet. Anyway, whatever, we can fudge with it later. Never mind.
Weird.
Don't worry about it. I don't want to slow you down.
Oh, no. We're just doing administrative stuff right now. So you can continue futzing with it, and if it's still not working in a little bit, we'll get back to it. Great. So are all of you connected through Violet Schwartz knowing the thus unnamed aunt on the male half of the Cooper Hewitt family?
Sarah Hewitt is the NPC name I gave for her. If that's okay.
Sarah Hewitt.
Sarah.
Okay.
Sarah Hewitt is her.
SARAH.
Yeah, SARAH.
Excellent. And actually, I believe Peter Cooper was the father, so I think Sarah Cooper.
No, I looked it up on the Wikipedia, and it's actually Sarah Hewitt is actually.
Oh, she actually is a person. Oh,
yep,
well,
yep. She's a real person on the father's Wikipedia.
Okay, cool. Sorry.
Did you know the father was a mayor of New York City at one point? Isn't that crazy?
Offhand? No,
Abram
I just know that he was
Hewitt.
I just remember that Peter Hewitt, the father, was invented gas, the gas lighting fixtures for the streets.
Yeah, but his dad was
And
mayor of
that's
New York City.
where his money came from. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very interesting family, actually. Anyway, I put it in my bio tab there.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah. Ray, I have a little bit of extra homework for your character.
Woo.
The Arab Feminist Union was kind of big way back when. International Women's Suffrage Alliance. And there was like a big movement in the 1920s for the feminist movement in the Arab world. So if you want to check that out and add that into your character, that would be cool. If not, that's also cool.
Oh no! Oh, absolutely Google the crap out of that. Absolutely, that sounds rad.
Yeah, there was more of a name to it, but I'm not coming up with it on my quickie search. So it's in there somewhere. I just remember it was pretty big in the very western portions of West Asia. So Jordan, Lebanon, that area was pretty big for the feminist movement in like the 20s.
Oh, sick! That's cool. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. No. They kicked ass, especially before the Wahhabi variant of Islam ended up being everywhere.
Nice. Awesome. Cool. Okay, yeah, that's going in there then. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Cool. I think I have exhausted my list of stuff. Does anybody have anything they want to add right now?
Just that, so we're all connected through Violet and then through Sarah Hewitt to the first group that went looking for Anne Cooper Hewitt, right?
Yeah. We'll
and
have.
We haven't heard from them somehow. Yeah.
Yeah. I will say that the last thing you did hear from them was, we're investigating what happened to Anne. We found a lead that brought us to Linmont, where Doris Lindsay, the nurse, his family is, and that was the last you heard that they were going to try to find Doris in her hometown. And for those of you that played in my previous Where's Ann Cooper Hewitt may remember that's where the child zombies were. So you players, you can take a wild guess as to what happened to them.
How do you think we're going to connect up? How am I going to connect up with these other guys? Since they're all like, is there?
Well, I
You
kind of
used a lawyer before, right? In the previous one, didn't you have us hired by a lawyer?
Yeah. Marion Cooper Hewitt's lawyer, Philip Knapp, hired folks last time.
Ooh, yuck.
And I will say that Joe is wealthy enough to be in the right tax bracket to even know about that lawyer, much less afford him. So yeah, I will say that Joe knows that he's kind of a slimy fixer type.
Mm-hmm. And how am I going to find everybody else in the party?
I was thinking that you would have connections with the whole suffragette movement.
Oh, great! I'm a big donor. I write a check every year.
You could, write a check, host some stuff. Hell, maybe hold like a nice cross-dressing ball where everybody is AFAB, but half of the group dresses as men or more.
Wait, wouldn't Vicky, your character is rich, right? Like,
hell yeah, I'm a rich butch.
Yeah. Wouldn't you be in the sewing circle? In that kind of wouldn't that, and that's how you probably know a bunch of feminists and stuff, and that's how you know
I
us.
certainly would.
And that's why you know yeah, the cross dressers.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, my character is mostly based in UK and Europe and stuff, but definitely has had chance to come to New York and is a speedboat racer, and a lot of the races were in New York. And even the Boston area, even then.
Oh, hell yeah, Boston
Nice.
too. Yeah, no, there's a lot of the moneyed people. Like, if they're not in Westchester County of New York, they're out further on the Cape in Massachusetts. So that's where a lot of the regattas would be. I'm presuming that you can your boat piloting extends to yachts.
Oh yeah, I would assume so too. But you're quite right though too. There's not many places that queer people at this time would have gone. I mean, it's not like there'd be 50 different clubs or bars or speakeasies or whatever things, right? I mean, even now it's like, well, you're lucky if you have one, right? Or two, or a coffee shop, or a restaurant, or
no.
no,
Well,
right?
because drinking was illegal. That's way back when, before when drinking was legal. Bars were generally segregated to the point where women usually weren't welcome to drink in public unless they were sex workers. But because of the general illegality of the whole prohibition era, organized crime did not give a flying fuck. As far as they were concerned, so long as your money was green, they didn't care if you're queer, straight, pansexual, anything else. They didn't really care. They wanted your money because it was green. They didn't care about your race because your money was green.
Yes.
There you go.
So there was a lot of mixing of the sort that a lot of the prohibition types would have frowned on anyway, because we don't want people mixing. Everybody must be segregated.
Right. So all these underground clubs run by organized crime.
Oh hell yeah! This, however, is 1920, so you're gonna find before organized crime, toward the end of Prohibition, probably would have had their fingers in all of the speakeasies, but at this time you would have been able to find mom and pop speakeasies that weren't affiliated. They were still criminals because it was illegal, but they weren't necessarily affiliated with organized crime.
Awesome.
But
Yeah.
as time went on,
Yeah.
organized crime would have seen the sheer amount of money and had their fingers in one way or another, be it as suppliers or demanding cuts in the racketeering sense, or however.
Right. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah. So I am pretty much good to go. I just need to look over notes and see where how I'm plugging you all in. But as a starting point, since the lot pretty much all but the union activist who also needs a name,
Yes.
which
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that you're all gonna we'll pick up with the start in the Paris Club for next time, as you're all sitting around talking about the missing people, and maybe you should go and look for them.
Sounds good.
Good.
I like that idea.
And
Sure.
so
Excellent.
our next date should be October 28th. And if that's good for everybody. And is everybody happy with the time? Or Jaden, did you want to start the time earlier, or how's this time working for everybody?
I am perfectly content with this time. Just so long as we don't have any scheduling weirdnesses at the last minute, because I do have a game starting at 4:00 or 4:30 my time, which is in just under an hour from now.
Gotcha.
So pretty much the bottom line is I need to know when we're playing so I can plan food ahead, because I like eating.
So today we started at 1 p.m. How long would you like to run for?
Typically, I prefer 4-hour chunks for the actual role playing. Though this being session 0 is, it takes as much time as it takes.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
So yeah, I am perfectly good with this time. And yeah, is everybody else? Anyone else have any complaints about the time?
No, I'm fine with it.
Cool. Excellent. Well, in that case, oh yeah, and by the way, Vicky, for dealing with scheduling stuff, have a free skill improvement of your choice, be it something that you already have, or hell, even something you don't have.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Andrea, whenever the notes that you've taken today are posted, then you too can have a free skill improvement, though it would help if you actually, but after your
Yes.
character sheet is done.
Exactly. No, that it will be shiny and glossy and sparkling.
And if you need any help with that, feel free to reach out. Though preferably not within 48 hours of the session. I really don't like leaving that sort of thing to the last minute.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good.
Cool. Well, in that case, I think we're all good. Yeah.
I just want to say, so folks, I'll do the meetup schedule. I will automatically add you as going, so that you automatically get the updates from Meetup, just the reminders that it does a couple days before. And it does have an event chat box, but if you don't know where it is, you don't see it. So maybe put any questions or anything in the comments rather than the chat box. Because if you don't have your alerts set up on Meetup for that particular Meetup, like if you have it all muted, then you're not going to get a notice, right? So just a note on Meetup.
Yep, sounds good.
Fabulous.
So next time we're going to get to the meat and potatoes of it and lose our minds.
I'm
Yes,
if you just want to wait, I'm just going to end the stream. Thanks guys for dropping by and watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. I am so pumped to play with this group, because oh my god, we've picked up one hell of a group. And yeah, my next stream is Monday night. I don't know what I'm playing. I might probably will play Baldur's Gate 3. I might just decide to go mindless and play Journey. So come and drop by. And of course, we are playing this again on October 28th. So check it out. Thanks, guys. Bye.